The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you. Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go? Jamaica, off the Florida Keys. There's a place called Kokomo. That's where you wanna go to get away from it all. Bodies in the sand, tropical drink melting in your hand. We'll be falling in love to the rhythm of a steel drum band. Down in Kokomo, Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go down to Kokomo? We'll get there fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. Way down to Kokomo. Martinique, that Montserrat mystique. We'll put out to sea and we'll perfect our chemistry. By and by we'll defy a little bit of gravity. Afternoon delight, cocktails and moonlit nights. That dreamy look in your eye, give me a tropical contact high. Way down in Kokomo, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go down to Kokomo? We'll get there fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. Way down to Kokomo. Prince, I wanna catch a glimpse. Everybody knows a little place like Kokomo. Now if you wanna go and get away from it all, go down to Kokomo. Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go down to Kokomo? Get there fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. Way down to Kokomo, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama.
A pony.
Yes, okay. So we've narrowed it down as the pony being the most sexually arousing animal. Thanks for all of your votes this week. So now we need to find which of the most famous ponies in the world would you like to...
Shaggy Pony.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're a pervert.
And if you want to hear me say C words, S words, W words, or even J words to callers, keep listening because, as you know, I love to use the strongest swear words on air to all of my callers. It makes me feel powerful. It arouses me. It stimulates the downstairs department. It makes me feel so fine. And when I go home after the show, after having sworn at callers and had a mental breakdown and asked you about having sex with cats, I like to go home and I pleasure myself. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Hey, if you're a showbiz journalist, why don't you phone up and ask me some questions and maybe I can correct your ill-conceived false stories that you've been writing all day. Your sources are flawed. Your sources are indeed flawed. Alan Caddick.
Hey, boss.
Hello, Alan.
I'm in a good mood tonight, boss.
Oh, someone's feeling fine.
You're a pervert.
Why are you in a good mood?
I've just seen the new Doctor Who trailer.
Oh, what's it like?
Well, it looks pretty promising.
Of course it does.
With Jodie Whittaker, the famous Time Lord.
The famous Time Lord, as opposed to the unfamous Time, the unknown Time Lords that are out there.
But is she a Time Lord or a Time Lady?
She's a Time Lord.
But she looks like a woman.
She is a woman. She's
not a human.
She's a Time Lord.
Well, she has got two hearts.
The race were called Time Lords. That's the race of people, Time Lords.
Yeah, but with Doctor being a woman, it was first thought of back in the 30s when Tom Baker left.
In the 30s when Tom Baker left?
30 years ago.
30, yes, right. What? Who? What? What are you talking about, boy?
When Tom Baker, the fourth Doctor, decided to leave, they toyed with the idea that the Doctor could be a woman, but then they decided that Peter Davison took over.
Wowzers. Okay, when does the new Doctor Who start? Because I'll do what I always do. I'll watch the first one and then get bored of it.
It'll be in the autumn.
Oh, the autumn. I plan to have jumped off a skyscraper by then, I'm afraid, Alan, so I just won't be around to see it.
I'm sure Kath would enjoy it.
No, I wouldn't. I don't watch Doctor Who.
Oh! She's in a feisty mood tonight.
What's up with you, Kath?
Nothing, I just don't watch Doctor Who. I've never watched any of them. And I don't care.
I mean, if I told you any doctors, you wouldn't recognise them.
Yeah, I think the last time I watched Doctor Who, it was Sylvester McCoy. And it was only because someone else was watching it. Exactly.
So you remember the Candyman from the Candy Patrol?
The vibe is being sucked out of an already vibeless show, Alan. Can you hear the funeral marches playing? That's the vibe. That's the vibe leaving.
Where's Holly?
What?
Where's Holly?
Where's Holly?
Because now that I'm officially single.
I don't know. I was losing the will to live there, man. That was.
Hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka.
I love my fag.
Me too. You right, Catherine Boyle?
Yeah, I'm all right.
What's going on? Oh, what's going on? You know, tonight's show is entirely for the showbiz journalists listening to the show tonight. That's why I'm kind of unsure as to how to start this, because I do want to ask the question, if you had to kill a member of your family, who would it be and how would you do it? But I'm worried the showbiz journalists who've been writing about me might misinterpret that as a macabre, tasteless phone-in.
Well, it will if it comes from the same source who knits things together from different shows and sells them as one thing.
Don't be so silly, Cat.
I don't know. Let's see where we go. Good evening, Wasim.
Ian, listen, I want to thank you for yesterday, man. It was really funny.
Hey, listen, like I say, I'm desperate for cash, and 15 quid is 15 quid.
15 quid for what?
Oh, my God.
I wasn't looking. I was facing the other way. I was wearing a glove.
Did you just do a sexual job there, mate?
No, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
No, mate, well, whatever floats your boat, man.
Yeah, it was your boat that was being floated, and then I sunk it.
Yeah, I don't think that way, mate.
Yeah, there was a tidal wave. Anyway.
Ian, listen, I want to ask, there's two things, really. I wanted to ask Kath something as well.
Okay, yeah, she's married, so it's unlikely, but it's worth a try.
No. I think I'm a bit too young for Kath anyway, to be fair.
Yeah, she's an old lady, yeah.
I'm going to be 33, so I'm getting on a bit myself.
So. You what? 83?
I'm going to be 33, so I'm getting
33, you're right, that's way too young for Catherine.
Also, I don't fancy her. Anyway, moving on.
I'm not a bad-looking guy, though, to be fair.
Okay, still don't fancy her.
But you're a weirdo. I mean, that would be...
A biddly bong. I'm willing to take a very, 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 very safe bet that I won't fancy you.
That's good, man. That's good.
Because I like people who are charming, fun. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I was wondering, what are your thoughts on religion? Because you said last time, Ian said you believe in God, so do you pray and stuff as well?
I don't.
Don't you believe in God?
Nah.
I thought you were a woman of God.
Do you believe in life after love? Do you believe in life after law? There's going to be a lot of that tonight, and a lot of this.
It's disgusting.
On Twitter, man. I read your Twitter today.
What are you talking about, Wasim? Get to the point, because we've got to go to Mo so we can cut him off quickly. Come on, don't make me call you a C.
I was reading your Twitter today. How come everyone's having a go at you for how much you earn?
Are they?
Are they?
Don't miss that one.
It comes across as a bit jealous, to be honest with you. People are quite jealous for how much you earn.
Yeah, people are jealous.
I think the thing is, mate, I think you're a bit too open about your life.
Speaking of jealousy...
0844 499 1000. Remember, they call you back.
0844. Speaking of jealousy, Mo's up next, Wasim, so we'll say thanks very much indeed. Good evening, Mo. There we go. It doesn't work that way, Mo. We control the switchboard. Thou don't. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. It's going to be one of those shows tonight because I come in and I make notes and stuff from the papers. I've got one idea for the show. Oh, it's a good one as well. Let's just do it. Let's just do this. Get this out of the way, and then everyone can call in with what they want to call in. And by the way, if you are a showbiz journalist, if you're the lady from the Mirror and stuff, hey, listen, you got your jobs to do, it's groovy. Phone up and ask me. You can phone up and ask me anything about the story. I'll give you the facts of the story that you've got hideously wrong because they came from a biased source. But phone me up and ask me. You can interview me for your columns. 03, honestly, it's better to do it that way than sending emails to my producer saying, is it true he had a breakdown? Is he going to be suspended? That was the email we came into when we got into it. Is it true Ian's had a breakdown? Is he going to be suspended? Why would I be suspended?
Because they were led to believe you'd said something on air that didn't happen.
Don't fill in the blanks for them. Let them phone up and honestly, if you come on, you'll get treated the same as all the other callers. Hey, here's one of them calling now. Hello, line one.
Sugar pony up and down United Kingdom.
There we go. Thanks very much indeed. Honestly, phone up and you can interview me. Ask me. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Come on, grow a pair. Grow a pair. Phone up and ask me. An award-winning baker has been branded cruel and barbaric by internet trolls. Let's leave the word trolls out because that gets bandied around a lot. Just by people. Let's just say people on the internet. Because trolling. What is trolling? I've been accused of trolling, and I've accused others of trolling. But what is it exactly?
Isn't trolling goading someone on purpose to try and get a rise out of them?
0344 499 1000. What the hell is trolling? Because I think it's a word.
Because disagreeing with someone isn't trolling.
No. Being an arse is trolling.
It's goading. There's got to be an element of that.
An award-winning baker has been branded cruel and barbaric by people on the internet after posting videos of herself cutting into lifelike animal cakes. So these cakes of animals, they look great. Lifelike, I'm not sure, but. And it's not, so you read that, you think, people were upset because they thought she was cutting animals. No, it's because they looked like animals. They called Hannah Edwards, who is obviously very, very talented, right? They called Hannah Edwards a closet serial killer.
Wow.
After she posted the clips on the Facebook page of her North London bakery, The Cake Illusionist. Could do with some cake now. Mrs. Edwards, 36, is renowned for her ultra-realistic sponge creations and spent years perfecting her methods to make a living from cake sculpting. The mother of two uploaded clips of her slicing through two of her animal cakes, a dog and a horse's head. But the footage attracted a wave of criticism. Among the 10,000 comments was one which read, "This is disgusting!
It's disgusting.
What's wrong with people? How can you cut and eat a cake that looks like a real animal? Eyes, face, heart, ribs. Barbaric, stupid." Because it looks like not because they thought it was an animal with a knife on its head, because it looks like an animal.
My mum had a rabbit jelly mould when I was a kid. What a cow! What a cow!
Those rabbit jelly mould. They just made jelly so much more fun because it looked like a rabbit. Why a rabbit?
Oh no.
It's another one.
Are they joking? Because sometimes, jokes are lost on these papers.
So if you can find it. So the bakery, it's on Facebook. The bakery is called The Cake Illusionist. See if you can find these comments. One Facebook user said it is One Facebook user said
it's disgusting
and unethical. Definitely artist has damaged brain. Another added, that's just sick. Making a realistic dog or any living creature and cut it with knife, eating it. I find it gross and stupid.
I made a princess. That's worse, isn't it?
Mrs. Edwards, an animal lover. We had a couple of birthdays ago. We had a Darth Vader face cake. Now that's David Prowse, who I think he hasn't got Parkinson's. He's got something like that.
Oh, has he?
So, are you saying we're not allowed to make cakes of disabled actors and eating them? Are you saying that's are we allowed to make cakes of able-bodied actors? And if yes, why can't we make cakes of disabled actors and eat them? You don't want to eat a disabled man? That's for the Mirror Online. I'll print that tomorrow. There we go. I gave them their stuff. You can switch off now. It's as controversial as it's going to get.
Cake illusionist, Hemel Hempstead.
Yeah. Mrs. Edwards, an animal lover who owns... She's got to justify the animals she's got. An animal lover who owns a cat, 2 turtles and 5 free-range chickens said, the level of aggression in these comments is madness. It's just an illusion, that's all. It's not even that, it's a cake! It's not a real animal, it's not even meat. It's eggs, butter, sugar, flour and kittens. It's no different from any other cake. It's just a step up in realism. I think their rage could be far better directed to true animal abuse causes. That is... But have you got the page?
Yeah, and she's put a few things on here. Look, it says... I know this is going to sound cliched, but when 35 million folks suddenly find out about you and what you do, it creates a tidal wave of communication. Actually, it looks like it's done her good. She said, I'm on it. My mum's also on it, and we're navigating this as best we can.
Good.
To tackle it all.
I hope she gets loads of orders.
They're
Cake
so good.
Illusionist in North London, and Hannah Edwards is her name. And that's the only story I've got for tonight.
She says, I'm now going to valiantly move on from a weekend where I've been accused of being a would-be serial killer.
Oh, bless her.
Promoting a generation of animal-abusing youngsters who are, as I type, cutting up their pets. And to generally being told I must be seriously brain damaged, amongst other glorious things.
Oh,
wow.
man. Aren't people absolutely nuts? 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee and Catherine Boyle on Talk Radio.
Set free your mind. Let your fancy take flight. Conversation gets curiouser by the glow of moonlight.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
That's from remember the Joe Laver, Professor Joe Laver's. 0344 499 1000. It's Ian Pottymouth Lee and Catherine Filthy Gobbed Boyle.
Filthy Gobbed?
Yes.
Fair enough.
There we go. Let's go to Damien. Good evening, Damien.
Hey, Ian. Hey, Catherine.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, Damien. What's wrong, man? You sound so down. Cheer up, man. What?
No,
the world's going to end or something?
No, I'm good. And you sound a bit more chipper.
Here's the thing, right? Whatever I say will become part of a bullshit story tomorrow in the Metro and the Huffington Post and the Mirror Online and all of that stuff. And it's great. The story today was great because it made the show sound so much cooler. Did you read the story, Sam? It made the show sound so much cooler. Where's the headline? Let me find the headline. Hang on a minute, right?
Where's the headline?
I'm going to find the headline because this is great, right? News. Here we go. Mirror. Right. Iain Lee suffers proper breakdown live on radio, calling a listener a C and discussing bestiality as he confesses he's desperate for cash. Has anyone been listening to the show? Then the subheading is...
I was listening to it. Yeah.
Okay. Then the subheading is, the I'm a Celeb star was dubbed a pervert. A pervert!
You're a pervert. Slanderous. That's
after
slanderous.
saying he'd have sex with a kitten.
I mean, that's true.
What?
Iain Lee suffered a proper breakdown on live radio. This is what's the name of who wrote this? Jessica Gibb. Iain Lee suffered a proper breakdown on live radio earlier this week. The I'm a Celebrity...
Who wrote that? Who wrote
literally just told you 30 seconds ago. The I'm...
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Okay. The I'm a Celebrity star was presenting his late-night alternative show, great name, on Talk Radio when he called a listener a C. Iain, 45, also presented a phone-in about what animal listeners would have sex with on his show on Tuesday night from 10. You've got no excuse for being an absolute C, he told a listener. Earlier in the show, he asked a listener, if you had to have sex with an animal, what animal would you have sex with? I'll tell you, a cat. I want to say a kitten. The listener replied, cats are too small. I would destroy a cat and that would not be good. Another...
No one else is thinking that. Everyone else is feeling sorry for you.
Oh, I got to
Everyone is feeling...
Catherine, where do you stand on this?
I mean, obviously he's banged to rights, isn't he?
Right. Another listener answered, you're a pervert, my friend. You are bound for the fires of hell. An Alsatian? Iain suggested.
You're a pervert.
The listener repeated. The show ran until 1 a.m. And after the show, he tweeted, proper breakdown at the start of the show. I'm not going to invoice them for this. He added, don't worry, I won't invoice Talk Radio for tonight's car crash. Probably going to take the next couple of nights off to recalibrate. Elsewhere in the show, he crudely sang to a caller. When she... These are the lyrics. I can't remember the tune. When she calls me up, I get a little stirring inside. I want to hold her cups. I want to lick her behind. And cats off the chair again. Second time that lyric has had that effect. He also claimed... This is great, right? He also claimed that ITV prevents I'm a Celeb contestants from masturbating in the jungle. That is true! That's not a claim, that's true! No, you weren't allowed to. We all had a clause in our contract saying you're not allowed to touch anybody in a way that may be deemed inappropriate, and you're not allowed to touch yourself. Earlier in the day, Iain admitted his head was like a washing machine as he tweeted a picture of the small bedsit he's living in, and he admitted on air that he's skint. I said these words to my agent today. I will take any old shit that comes in at the moment because I need cash. So that's been my day and it's just hit me.
No.
The Talk Radio host has always been open about his battle with mental health issues. It's not a battle. It's just living with it. It's not a battle. And said he was suffering from stress and anxiety. Nearly 2 years I've lived in this room and parked my car here, he tweeted. Fingers crossed, next week a new chapter begins. This is the most stressful and anxiety-inducing period of my life, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. The tiny room features an unmade bed. I didn't make my bed. And an office chair with a small kitchenette, and outside his home was littered with rubbish. And it's just, I mean, all right, the only reason I'm skint, right?
For God's sake.
It's because I've just paid a massive deposit and stamp duty on 2 properties. That's why I'm skint. I've handed over a fortune. That's why I'll take any old rubbish.
Right.
So that's where we are.
Through, it sounds to me like you've been through the ringer. You've been through the ringer.
Don't spread that rumour, for God's sake.
Again, 25 quid. I'll do anything.
What do you mean, 25 quid?
I'll go through... Anyway, so, Damien, thank you, Damien. There we go.
I knew I remembered Damien
Yeah,
from somewhere.
okay. Apologies to the people on YouTube. I'm going to give them some content for the online thing.
Okay.
I think I might take Friday night show off because I just want to stay in my bed, think about all the mistakes I've made in my life and cry. And masturbate and cry. So that's probably what I'll do tomorrow. There you go, you can have that. Do you want to listen to the clip? They've taken clips from about 2 or 3 different shows and edited it to make it sound like one awesome show. This is the clip. Let me get this to the start. This makes the show sound epic, and the show is.
The thing is, I've got to make a tape for the ARIA Awards, and it looks like this guy's done it for me.
The show is not as good as this, right? But this is the show that this clip they put online to say that I've lost the plot, and the show is filth. There we go. Oh wait, why can't we? I've got to refresh. 0344 499 1000. If any journalists want to call in, you'd be very, very welcome to. It's entitled Iain Lee's Meltdown, live on radio.
Which is partly untrue.
Yeah.
And possibly defamation.
Yeah,
but
that's
okay.
Why can't we play it? Here we go. The video will start in 8 seconds. Okay, just... Jeez, come on, guys. The whole website's having a breakdown. It's not me. It's your website. It was playing a minute ago. Tell you what, let's do a trail and then we'll come back to it.
After hours amusement for anarchists, air hostesses, and jet-lagged Antipodeans.
G'day, coppers. Can I crash on your floor? The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to... Let's talk to Zach and then we'll try and get it again. Good evening, Zach.
Good evening, Ian.
Oh, Zach sounds sparky.
Well, yeah, because I finished school today.
Yeah, school's out for Zach. School's been blown to pieces. A tragic comic makes joke about shootings in schools. Come on, guys. Hey, that's great news, Zach. Well done. What are you planning to do? Go to Thorpe Park a lot, probably.
Well, I'm going to Thorpe Park on Saturday.
Of course you are. You're going to marry Thorpe Park.
Yeah, no, I probably can get married there.
Yeah.
So
No, don't get married there. Marry it.
Yeah, maybe. Or work there. You can also do that.
Marry. Thorpe Park.
Well, what would be the best thing is if you were one of the guys that actually creates the roller coasters.
What? Why? What?
Well,
no, that's too much responsibility.
Well, yeah, especially what happened to Alton Towers with the crash a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
So,
exactly, man, exactly. And wasn't there a story about another theme park recently where they were like up the top or just coming over the top of the crest of the hill and it froze and they were stuck there for 45 minutes and had to be escorted off?
Yeah, it's just, the media being annoying, especially the media being annoying about what you said on the radio.
No, the media's got a right to be annoyed if people are stuck on roller coasters for 45 minutes.
Yeah, I know, but also they're a bit annoying when it comes to you because they just, talk about stuff that isn't...
they're just doing their job. And do you know what? The story today is a great advert for the show. And Jessica, I'm thrilled by it because I was in my miserable bedsit at the age of nearly 50 in hysterics today reading that story. And I was sending pictures of it to Kath and to my mate Scott and to my sister going, this is incredible. Look at this. And it's great publicity for the show. I suspect everyone that listens tonight will be disappointed after going, wow, this is like a free-form, Howard Stern show from 19...
Everyone else is feeling sorry for you.
Hang on.
Everyone is feeling sorry for you.
No. They feel sorry for...
Here we go. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, Zach, anything else before I cut you off?
No.
There we go. Right, so this is the clip, right? And what you don't get is that for about 5, 6, 7 minutes at the start of this guy is fat-shaming me and calling me fat.
That's 15 minutes, actually.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
It's about 15 minutes.
15 minutes. So you get the end of him and he's been calling me fat, right? So here we go.
What a fat slob you're becoming. And all you do is repeat yourself and say, and on the radio show and say, oh, what a terrible person Bob died. Oh, what a terrible person he's ill. He used to sound nice, but now he sounds a bit cracker.
What is this guy talking about? Do you know what this guy's talking about?
Alex took this audio from the YouTube feed.
I think something's happened.
All right, so
I don't do drugs.
So you've got no excuse then for being
I'm just a dark-souled person, according to you.
Cinnamon, you've got no excuse for being an absolute 0344 499. Did we get that one? 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call.
So it didn't go on the radio.
Sorry, YouTubers, you got the full brunt of that. I really tried. What unpleasant.
You know, we were talking yesterday about people who go out of their way.
If you had to, Ola, it's a question we've asked before, and I'm not afraid to repeat material.
YouTube, not taking from
If you had to have sex with an animal,
right?
What animal would you have sex with? I'll tell you. A cat.
Oh God.
I want to say a kitten.
No, cats are too small. I would destroy a cat. That would not be good.
If you had to have sex with an animal,
You
what animal
that, my friend,
would
burn
you...
for hell.
I'm not the one who's going to have sex with an animal.
Bound for the fires of hell unless you repent and believe in Jesus. God offers you forgiveness, my friend.
An ass?
Why do you mock Jesus?
An ass?
That is why your life is a car crash, because you mock Jesus.
A horse?
He died for your sins and my sins.
A duck?
Perverted, Ian, but God offers you help and forgiveness. I'm speaking to you in love and concern.
A bird? I get you as a four-legged animal kind of guy.
Don't end up in hell, my friend. I'm warning you in love.
An Alsatian? An Alsatian?
And so on and so on and so on it goes.
Well, you know why he took it off YouTube? Because he wouldn't get that from what went out on the radio.
Shall we read the comments on the Mirror Online?
Please.
Dave England, 18. What a weirdo. Who even thinks about having sex with animals? Something is not right. Katie, 2017, says, he is always rude and arrogant, quite intimidating. When he gets called out, he goes back to the mental health card. Joe T, 87, says, the man's an idiot, cannot be doing with him. Talentless and hugely annoying. The Mac says, felt sorry for this chap when he was in I'm a Celeb.
Here we go.
But can't comprehend why anyone would be allowed, never mind have this conversation on a radio show. Totes disgusting! The Oracle. Everything seems to be the fault of someone or something else. The guy takes no accountability for his actions. He got a lot of airtime after I'm a Celeb, and that dwindled pretty quickly when everyone remembered what a non-entity he is. Dave Barrett. Listen to this thoroughly nasty piece of work. Bully, sneer, verbally abuse and insult a polite female Christian lawyer on a radio phone-in he was inviting people to participate in. He was rightly sacked. His attempt to virtue signal at the expense of a female victim fell flat. His bitter, nasty persona radiates every time he opens his mouth. No sympathy. The talentless waste of space deserves all he gets. Gaza, or rather Gaza. A kitten is low, but a hamster is even lower. I like the guy. He just needs some mental help.
Who mentioned hamsters?
Claire says, he's having a mental breakdown. It's wrong of the radio staff to let him go on air as he needs help and support, not criticism. Lehand Kari...
She criticised.
Lehand Kari says, section the loon! El Simo says, I like this guy. He's just trying to make a living. Although talking about having sex with animals is a bit much.
He's right.
Oopsie. Sack him! Red Ninja comments on that and says, no! He's obviously in the throes of a mental health crisis. He needs intervention, not judgment.
The ninja knows.
He's certainly desperate for attention. He's one weird guy, says Lizzie. He needs years of counselling. He really doesn't do himself any favours. And on it goes, and on it goes, and on it goes. But it's funny, isn't it? It's funny. Thing is, I've been doing this act for like 15 years on the radio. No one's shown any interest. I'll take this. And people, it's the funniest thing, man. I'm loving this. Hello, line one.
Oh, Ian, just shut up.
Why don't you shut up? Why don't you shut up? You shut up. What's your problem? You shut up. You get stuffed. Shut your face or I'll shut it for you with a bit of 2B4. Shut your face, otherwise you're going to get a knuckle sandwich. Who the hell do you think you are? Shut up. Shut up. You shut up. Thanks for the call. I really appreciate it. 03444991000 is the telephone number. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
Jacked up jive talk for janitors, jazz cats, and gin-soaked boys and girls.
Is that Commando?
If you're awake, you're a welcome.
I've got 5 cactus needles stuck in my...
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
03444991000 is the telephone number if you want to give us. It's kind of an itsy bitsy show. I think I'm going to take tomorrow night off. It's just shrugful.
Let me know when you decide.
All right, I'm deciding. I'm taking tomorrow night off just because I need to. Here's the thing. If I say it, right, here's the thing. I'm going to say it because...
No, don't say it.
No, I'm going to say it because... No, I'm going to say it because I'm not going to be cowed into not talking about my mental health just because, some kid exploits it for clicks. I'm not going to be cowed into what I say because the Mirror and the Star and the Huffington Post and all of that stuff turn it into clickbait. Why should I be? That is... we're really... The Mirror running a campaign about mental health. Well, you're making me reconsider what I can share about my mental health and what I can't. So if they want to turn it into a clickbait, that's up to them. That's their darkness. I'm not going to
Censor yourself.
I'm not going to censor myself because of them, right? I'm having a tough time. I'm not feeling great, as you know if you listen. And this week's been hard work, and you know the house and marriage and all that kind of stuff. And the house is a very precarious stage today. I sent an email saying I'm about to walk away, guys, unless you sort this out very, very quickly. Sending that email. What if they call? It was not a bluff. But I did send an email saying, guys, if this isn't sorted out soon, I'm out. The deal is off. The deal is up. And I've learnt a lot about deals from reading Donald Trump's book, The Art of the Deal.
Gosh, he should read it, shouldn't he?
Yes, he should. And I've been watching that guy, and when the house does fall through, I'll go, no, sorry, I misspoke. When I said I was out, I meant actually I'm in. That's how you get around these things. But no, I sent an email today saying, you know what? This doesn't get sorted. This is what you've got to do. It's a game of poker. It's a game of poker, except you're betting a house. And I said, if this is not sorted by this date, then I'm walking away. So it's been a stressful old week, right? And I've had a really nice day today on Good Morning Britain. I met Lorraine Kelly for the first time. What a lovely, lovely lady. Saw Tony Blackburn. Said hello to him. Did some, silly bits on telly. Said hello to Stacey Solomon and Jane Moore. So I've had a nice old day. I shook Dr. Hillary's hand. It's been a good day. But it is, this week has been a little bit much in terms of life. So I suspect that tomorrow I shall, and I know you don't think it's the best idea for me to kind of have a night off, but
you know yourself.
I do. I know myself better than I know anybody else, and I don't know myself that well. I do. And, tonight I sound all right and I sound better than I did yesterday, but inside I don't feel great, I don't feel great, and I'm kind of faking it to make it because, I'm not quite sure what we're going to do for the next two. We've managed to bluster our way through 45 minutes, but I really, even less than usual, know how we're going to fill the next 2.25 hours. And I just feel, I feel mentally and spiritually exhausted. And I just need a night. I just need an evening where I'm not doing this for 3 hours. I just need to switch off, man, and that will be having an early night. I'll be having an early night, and just meditating, going to a meeting, I've not been to a meeting for a few days. Go to a couple of meetings tomorrow, and just one meeting because I've got the kids in the day. And, just reconnect with my inner child. And I look forward to reading that tomorrow online in a tragic comics mental breakdown kind of thing. It's not. I'm just looking after myself in the same way that if you had the flu or whatever, you'd take a day off. So, is that okay? I would genuinely like to hear your thoughts on it, Catherine.
You know yourself. That's
You're not convinced it's a great idea?
I'm not making that decision either way. You know that. Like I say, I know you wouldn't take the time off if you didn't need it.
I'm always reluctant to take time off.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you didn't need it. So if you need to, then, of course.
Okay. All right. You're wicked. I love you. You're my female pal. Let's go to Frank. Good evening, Frank.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Frank.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
Shag a pony.
Sorry?
Hello, Catherine.
Hello.
Just want to talk about Ofcom.
Yes.
Because I think you're the guy to ask about it.
Okay, yes. Go on. We know everything about Ofcom, yes.
I bet you do. I need to make a complaint about the BBC, but I can't make it through Ofcom. Is that right?
No, that's not right.
You can now.
Yeah, you can. Who said you can't?
I've been on the website, on the Ofcom website, and it says if you want to make a complaint against the BBC, you'd have to write to them directly first.
Well, no, hang on, because I had Ofcom. Hang on, I had Ofcom complaints made against me. Well, I think you may have to write to the BBC first. This is what I think. You have to write to the BBC first. They will investigate it, and then if you are unhappy with their investigation, then you go to Ofcom. But that doesn't sound right.
No, that doesn't sound fair. I thought Ofcom were now regulating the BBC rather than the
trust.
The trust.
You see, I'm confused as you, but I don't want to waste my time writing a long letter, all that crap, and then find out that it's got nowhere.
Complain about TV. Right, so we've gone to Ofcom website. Complain about TV, radio, a website, or an app. Okay, we're going to click on that. Was it on television or the radio?
It was on radio. It was on Radio 4 Extra.
Oh, really? Okay. BBC TV channel or radio station, yes. A BBC programme I saw or heard. Oh, here we go. Other than in exceptional circumstances, Ofcom only considers complaints about BBC programmes where the complainant has already complained to the BBC and completed the BBC's complaints process, having escalated the complaint to the BBC's Executive Complaints Department and received a final response from them. When you reach our complaint form, you'll be... Okay, so you've got to go through the BBC first.
It sounds a long and drawn-out thing, though, Ian. Is it worth it?
Yes, it is. If you strongly believe that you have been wronged, or you heard something that was inappropriate, then I think you should.
Do you want to run through it with us, and we can tell you whether you've got any chance?
What, you want to tell me the content? Because it's too... I don't want to discuss what was said, but it's really bad.
Can you give us a clue?
It was said at 5 to 6, Catherine, and on a Saturday evening I got my 82-year-old mother with me, and I've never heard anything like it on the radio.
Without saying the words, can you give us a clue?
I'd sooner do it off air, Ian, because I'm still angry about it.
All right. Talking about strong swear words?
I'd sooner ring me back off air if you want to know.
We can't really do
I don't
that.
want it broadcast.
Go and talk to him. Go and talk to him. You can do that. Go and talk to him and find out and see what. We'll put you through to Catherine and you can tell her.
Yeah, you tell me what you think, Ian, because honestly I thought it was just out of order, especially 5 to 6 on a Saturday evening.
Well, okay, I know. Okay, well let's see. But an 82-year-old mum will have. Hang on a minute. An 82, Kath, I'm talking to him. An 82-year-old mum will have.
I just don't want to waste my time. Contacting the BBC gets tossed in the bin. Waste of time.
No, it doesn't get tossed in the bin. Once you complain to the BBC, they have to look through it. They have to act on it and investigate it.
You'd know that. I wouldn't. That's
they investigate it. But also, an 82-year-old mum, she will have heard and seen everything, won't she?
Yeah, I know that. It's not just her, though. It's me as well. I'm really offended.
Okay, well, all right. I'm keen to find out. Speak to Catherine. Tell her what it was, and then we'll find out. It's funny, is that different people get offended by different things, don't they? And some people get upset by some stuff, and some people don't get upset by some stuff. And someone's just sent me a text. I thought it'd be easier to phone them than to just keep reading out their texts. Hello, this is Iain Lee. You're live on Talk Radio.
Hello.
Hello, yeah. You just sent me a text telling me to stop being a twat.
Yeah.
And even though I never read out texts that don't agree with me, we're on the air now. Obviously I'm reading this out. I just wondered why you felt it was, why you wanted to call me a twat via text.
Oh, hang on. One sec. Alexa, stop.
Alexa, start.
I was listening to you via Alexa.
Alexa? Alexa? Alexa! How does that not annoy you, the Alexa? Does it? I find those annoying, those things.
Sometimes, yes, she does.
They do my head in. And I find, we haven't got one, but my in-laws have one. And constantly having to try and rephrase things or hushing the children so that Alexa can get my instructions slightly wrong.
No, I haven't done that.
You haven't got that. Alexa listens. Alexa respects you. She listens to you, and she does exactly as you tell her. Then that is perfect. Hey man, what's going on? Come on, send in a text calling me a twat. That's not a nice thing, is it? Come on, man.
The reason I said that was because.
Come on.
You seem to me to be.
Come on.
Oh God, I'm not sure how to explain it.
Go on, try and explain. Hey, listen, dude, I'm not phoning you up to have a go at you. I'm just, come on. So, I'm not having a go at you, right? And I'm not going to fall out with you, and I'm not going to belittle you. I'm not going to have an argument. I'm really grateful, genuinely grateful, that you picked up the phone and answered, because I kind of suspected that you wouldn't, all right? So this isn't going to be mauling, me telling you to jog on, then hanging up. I just want you to know that me looking at a screen and someone calling me that's not a nice thing to see.
No, it's not. But I found that some of the things you were saying seemed to be that you were just looking for publicity.
Okay. But okay, right. Well, I guess some of the things could be partly said. Which things in particular?
It's when you were talking about the animal cakes for a start, and
yeah, that was just a story that I read in the paper that I thought was a good story.
Yeah, well, I'm strongly opposed to animal cruelty, and I thought if someone's designing animal cakes so as they can slice them up, it's like the start place of the Tory government who just wants to kill all of our world.
No, it's not, man. This woman is an artist. She's a really skilled artist, and she's just making beautiful, beautiful cakes. That's not going to encourage animal cruelty. And that, honestly, that's probably the only bit of the show so far that hasn't been me publicity seeking. It was the only story I could find in all the papers. I just thought it was an interesting story. That's not me publicity. That's not worth sending a text calling me a twat, is it?
Actually, I quite admire the fact you saying that.
You spelled twat wrong as well, by the way.
That was the only part where I wasn't seeking attention.
Well, because the rest of it, there's been weird stuff written about me today, and the press will be listening to the show today, and so I might as well play to the gallery. Partly because I don't do as much for press attention as people might think, right? A couple of things I have done specifically, and maybe we'll talk about them another time. But this is you got to remember, right? This is my job, and my job is governed by numbers, right? If I get good numbers of listeners, my show is more likely to stay, and if I get low numbers, my show is more likely to get scrapped. And we're on a niche station that's only available on digital and online that doesn't advertise. So I've got to somehow, shout and scream and let people know that this show is here.
You do advertise.
The station doesn't. Not really. Very, very small advertising. Very small.
By the way, I did watch you on I'm a Celebrity, and I thought you were all right on that.
You thought I was what?
I thought you were all right on that.
Okay, but then that again, man, that is... What's your name, by the way, friend? Or if you want to give it to me.
Beef.
What? Beef?
Keith.
I thought you said beef. I'm so sorry, I thought beef. Okay. Beef, okay. Keith. Okay, but then that's another thing that makes you sending me a text saying, Ian, if you want to feel better, stop being a twat, even though you never read out texts that don't agree with you. The fact that you're saying you'd like me on a TV show that I did ages ago, and it was ages ago, and it was edited, and it was a tiny percentage of what I am. What I'm trying to say is, Keith, and I hope you don't think I'm being mean to you by doing this, is that okay, well, you're a good man, and that's another thing that surprises me about this text.
What have you got to say as same as you obviously will?
Looking down on a screen while I'm trying to do a show and trying to be artistic and funny and creative, and not everyone's going to dig it, of course not. And when I'm struggling because, I'm getting divorced, and this isn't really your concern, but this is a bit of background, I'm getting divorced and the house that I'm buying is possibly falling through, to look down on a screen and see someone has texted that in, that kind of, that's like a little dagger to the heart, man. It's a little dagger. And I don't think you could voice your criticism in a less mean way, because you don't sound like a mean guy, Keith.
No, I'm not. I've tried a couple of times, but my texts were just ignored.
Okay, all right, right. Okay, all your texts get seen by me.
Yeah.
See, I can only see one other text you sent, and that was to I guess James at some point about Vince Cable. I can't see any other text you've sent, and I can click a button here that shows me, like, all of your past texts from this number.
There was that, but I also found some of what you were saying just now as gross, and I'm not a prude.
Well, we're all prudes to a certain extent. Some of us find some things gross, and others don't. But again, I mean, you could just switch off or switch over to Ian Collins on LBC or Duncan on BBC London or something.
I don't want to do that. I've only just found your channel.
Well, but if you don't like,
I like finding out that.
Uh-huh.
I like finding out what your actual truths are, which we don't do on the BBC.
No, well, you're right.
The word truth.
But if you don't like, if you don't like the show or the host or the turn or a thing, what's the point? The point I'm trying to make is, even though I'm on the radio,
I listen to it.
Well, no, listen. No, it's up to you, right? It's up to you. But people on the TV and on the radio, we may look tough and we may sound tough, but looking down at a screen and seeing an anonymous text calling us twats. It hurts, and all I'm saying is, hopefully, you will reconsider your language and your turn of phrase next time you make contact with the show. So that's all I'm asking.
Okay, I will do.
All right, then. All right.
Try not to be so extreme. I know you're looking for.
Try not to be what?
And you're looking. I said, try not to be so extreme. I know you're looking for callers and you're looking for.
But this is my. Well, Keith, this is my show. This is my show, and I will, and I appreciate your input, but I will do the show how I want. This is the act I've done for about 15 years on the radio. It's an act that I like. It's an act that has won me awards and has got me, well-paid jobs on some of the biggest stations in the country. So I appreciate your feedback, but I will continue doing my act.
Well, all I can say then is if you're going to continue to say extreme things that offend a lot of people, don't expect not to get people standing up for things.
Well, no, but calling me a twat isn't standing up. That's just ill-mannered. And the thing you got offended at...
No, it's not ill-mannered.
Calling someone a twat is ill-mannered, Keith. It is. It really is.
Well, lots of people are twats.
Yeah, I know, but you don't need to tell them. You don't need to tell them. And the thing that offended you.
You weren't listening to any of that, were you?
No, I'm listening because I'm. Don't just calm down, Keith. Right, the thing that offended you, as you told me, was the story that's in the Daily Mail about a woman making cakes that look like dogs. That's the one thing you singled out as being the most offensive to you when I asked you what had offended you.
Well, that was the one thing I'd heard.
And that's what prompted you to call me a twat. I think that your language is unbalanced to the weight of that story.
But you're forgetting the fact that you can get to say whatever you like, and you don't expect anyone to say anything against it.
It's a phone-in show. People can phone in and say anything they want. Hey, listen, dude, you can call me a twat if you want, right? I get called worse than that. All I'm saying is that it hurts. And I would like you to reconsider. If you don't want to reconsider, then that's your thing, man, and that's cool. But then I would respectfully suggest this show is not for you. And it seems to me to be an odd thing to listen to something that makes you so uncomfortable.
Well, as I said, I've only just found a show, and I thought it was meant to be a free opinion for everyone, including yours.
Not really, no. Well, in that case, if you call someone a twat, expect to be challenged on it. It's just a mean thing to do, just because I read a story out about a baker.
It might seem that way, but
it is
the way you presented it.
No. I just read the story from the Daily Mail, and your language was mean and hurtful. Hey, listen, we're not going to agree. I appreciate you coming on. I just hope that you'll think again before criticising a human being in that way.
I understand your point, but Daily Mail's not a newspaper anyway, is it? Come on, be fair.
Well, no, it is a newspaper. It's one of Britain's biggest selling newspapers. You're going off on a slight tangent, Keith. Try and focus, please, mate.
Well, they never tell the truth, so...
Well, okay. Well, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. I read a story about a baker from a newspaper, and you
did.
You felt that was so offensive. Man alive, did you not hear the phone in about having sex with animals?
Oh, yeah, I did hear that.
Right, okay, right. And yet you chose to call me a twat because I was talking about a baker. That seems pretty incredible to me, man.
Difficult to explain, but that was the first thing that set me off.
Okay. Well, you if you're happy going around calling people...
The rest of it came afterwards.
Okay. If you're happy going around, calling people swear words, then I'm not going to... it's not for me to suggest that maybe that's inappropriate and mean-spirited.
I'm not trying to be mean-spirited.
Calling someone a twat is mean-spirited. There's no denying that.
Well, someone shouldn't promote animal cruelty, should they?
Someone wasn't promoting animal cruelty. Someone was talking about a baker. Someone was promoting cakes.
Do you know, by the way, in America, the FBI first get involved when people start being cruel to animals.
No one's being cruel. No one's being cruel to animals. It's a woman who's made a cake in the shape of a dog.
I know. I get that.
Have you not seen the Hungry Caterpillar cakes you get from Marks and Spencer's?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Why don't you go and tell them that they're twats?
Well, I might do that actually. But
you probably would, because you do sound like, and I've tried to reason with you, but you sound like a mean person if you think that that's acceptable behaviour. This show is nowhere near as mean as your tweet, your text.
I'm not mean, honestly.
Stop calling people twats. Then there's a start.
Well, I apologise for calling you a twat.
Thank you.
I was wrong.
Come on, man, that's not an apology, and you know that's not an apology. I apologise if. I apologise if.
More of your shows to decide
I apologise if. That's not an apology, mate. That's not an apology.
Well, I'm not apologising if you carry on, saying things. I mean, are you in favour of the badger cull? Are you in favour of fox hunting?
Hang on a minute. Dude, where have you got that? Now you're just making stuff up. You don't know my opinions
on the question, not making stuff.
No, you're not. You just made a statement. You just said you're in favour of the badger cull, in favour of fox hunting.
I said, are you in favour of the badger cull?
Here's something. Here's something. I once had to stove a cat's head in with a brick.
Right. Was there a reason for it?
Yeah, I got a brick and I smashed the cat's skull in.
Why?
That's not your concern. I just did it. That's a true story.
No, if the cat was dying, then it is my concern, or...
That's not your concern. I'll reveal what information I choose to reveal.
Well, I can do the same, obviously.
Here's Keith. Listen, Keith. I'm so late for the news, man, and I'm going to get told off. Here's the thing, right? Just calling someone a twat that you don't know, that is mean. Whether they are or not, that's a mean thing to do. And just because you didn't like a lovely story about a baker being hounded by nut jobs who are upset because she's so good that her cakes look like cats. Look like dogs and horses. That's not a reason to send abuse to someone you've hardly listened to. And your apology was not an apology. I'm really grateful that you spoke to me on the phone and that we had this conversation. But dude, this show ain't gonna be for you.
It is an apology. I will listen to you some more.
No, it's not an apology. I'm sorry if it's not an apology.
Opinion on your.
I don't really care what your opinion is. I just think that you're rude.
So why did it upset you so much if you don't care what my opinion is?
No, it's not upset me. I just want you to know, I just think it's time that people who think they can sit there anonymously being rude about people on the radio and the television, I think it's important that those people know that those people on the radio and television have feelings and what they are doing is mean and cowardly. That's all I'm saying.
It's not cowardly at all. I'd meet you and discuss these things with you. But you're the one who
no intention of meeting.
Present it to the whole world.
Wow.
And I'm the one who has to sit here and listen to it.
No, you don't. Well, that's where you're completely wrong. You don't.
No, sorry, I don't have to.
No, you don't.
I change stations.
Yeah, exactly. And I really suggest you do that.
More interesting than any others tonight.
Well, but then don't send abuse. Then don't send abuse. Phone up, have a conversation. Don't send foul language because you're better than that, Keith. I really think you might be. You can be.
Yeah, I probably can be.
Just try.
To be honest, I thought I would be ignored anyway.
Oh, so it was attention you were after?
No, it wasn't attention I was after. I just thought that, these national radio stations, they don't ever respond.
Oh, anyway. So that you've only sent 2 texts in. At least 50% of your texts have been acknowledged, Keith. I don't know what listen, I have to go, man. Thanks a lot, but I don't know what stations you've had beef with that have ignored you. I think I'm starting to understand why, because your tone is quite unpleasant. But you've had 50% of your texts read out on this station, so that's a pretty good average, mate.
I appreciate that.
Lovely,
and
thanks.
As I said, I will listen to you more.
Don't bother. Don't bother. You won't like it. I tell you now, you will not like it. You will not like me. I'm telling you that now.
You like animal abuse and things like that.
I love animal abuse. I'm totally into it. It's my favourite thing. You got me, man. You got me.
In which case, you are a total twat, then.
Thanks very much for your time. so late for the news.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
He has made a covenant with the night, and with the darkness he is in agreement.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Sorry for the late listening news. It may have been a little bit self-indulgent, that call, but do you know what? Really starting to think that it's time to make a stand against... I need to click my neck. Oh, I won't go. I think it's time to make a stand against people who think it's okay just to send abuse, just because you're on the telly or on the radio. I've got feelings. Saw Martin Lewis, the moneysavingexpert.com, on Twitter today, saying that he'd been upset by someone's comments, and he called them out. And your comments... I'm just using my free speech. Well, OK, you can use your free speech, but then you have to accept that there might be consequences, and people might use their free speech to pull you up on that. What a weird old show tonight. What a weird old week it's been. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Let's go to Andy. Good evening, Andy.
Hey, Ian, how you doing?
I'm very, very well, Andy. What have you got for us?
That last man was a bit of a twonk, wasn't he?
No, come on now. We're better than that. Go on, what you got?
Can I just ask what's wrong with being a twat as well? Because I've made quite a good living out of it so far.
Well, there you go. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it whatsoever.
Listen, I just wanted to call you up just quick before I get on to what I wanted to say.
Well, hang on. Then hang on. I hate it when people do that on phone-in shows. This is what you wanted to say then.
Well, it's a little bit of a prequel to what I wanted to say.
So you don't want to say this bit?
No, not really.
Well, then don't say it.
Okay, that's fair enough.
There we go.
It's but if I was to say it,
yes,
then I'd say, have you seen that Nick Knowles is rumoured to be going into the jungle?
No.
Apparently he's being paid six figures.
Good for him.
So, you know, I may have to, buy his album just so I understand his...
You can get it for under £1.
That would not surprise me one bit, I'll be honest with you.
There's a giant Nick Knowles by the River Thames as well. It's supposed to be Jeff Goldblum, but everyone's pointed out it looks exactly like Nick Knowles.
I have seen that. It is very, very funny. Yeah. But listen, the reason I'm calling is that I've been listening to your shows during the day, to be honest with you, because I've been wanting to get some more sleep and stuff. But I've heard you talking about how tough divorce is.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it?
Man, honestly, I mean, I don't want to turn this into a game of, well, I went through this and I went through that.
Well, I'm keen to hear what you did go through, because it's a tough old thing, and nobody told me there'd be days like these. It really is hard work.
I mean, in 2011, I got divorced, came out as gay, had my first gay experience at the age of 36.
Yeah.
Really started to question my sexuality and my identity in life. Had to buy a house for the first time, and up to then, my wife had done absolutely everything for me. I mean, mum before that, including laying my clothes out for the day. You know?
No, Andy, naughty Andy.
I know. So I had no clue on how to do anything at all. But I've done it, and I'm now in a lovely, lovely house. I lived in a dump for a while. And you know the thing is, I know how difficult it is. My mortgage went right down to the last minute. It was the 3rd of October, and if it hadn't have gone through before midday, I would have lost this house that I'm in at the moment.
I have to send an email today saying, guys, I can just see this dragging on and on and on. I think I've been played here. 'Cause I was supposed to be in there like 3 weeks ago, and then it was like it'll be the end of July, and now it's like, well, maybe we can do it. And I have to say, if I'm not in by the 31st of July, I'm pulling out. Because I can see this dragging on and on and on, and it's a great house, but I'll go and find another great house somewhere.
Well, I remember, because I used to, part of my job at that time, and I can't go into work and stuff, but part of my job at that time was interviewing people, and I had to keep finding excuses to leave the room when I was interviewing them, because I just kept bursting into tears. Yeah. It was just that stressful with regards to the whole mortgage and stuff. I had no deposit, and then I managed to find a really good mortgage advisor who helped me out. And I've heard you say this word a few times, and I don't like swearing, myself, especially not on national radio, but I hope you don't mind me saying, it's shit.
It is, man. It is. But it worked out all right for you in the end. Now you're a fully functioning, practicing gay man with his own house. Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Yes, man! That's what I want to be.
well, again, I'm coming to Manchester, but anyway, that's a different story.
Let's go out for. I'll ditch Kath. We go out for a little drink afterwards. See what happens. You know,
I'll
I'm
take
up for
you down to Mount Street and
experimenting.
see what happens.
Catherine just raised her eyebrows. Well, you homophobe. You homophobe.
Do you know the one thing that I want to get through to you, though? You know, even when times feel they're absolutely like there's no way forward, there is.
Yeah.
7 years on, I'm living proof of that, and you'll be all right, mate.
Thank you, brother. Okay, well, thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. You're very kind, and this too shall pass and all of that, but right now there's a huge knot in my stomach. I feel like I'm having to watch everything I say on the radio and then think, actually, no, I'm not going to watch everything I say on the radio because this is my life and this is my show, and I'm not changing the show just because there's a kid out there that writes for the Daily Mirror that will change the connotation, is that a word? Yeah. And we'll make it into something else. This show has always been honest and it's always been raw, and it has been for the last 15 years, and I'm not going to change that just because some people want to get clicks out of it. You know, this is what it is, man.
Do you know the thing is that helps people? Seeing, I mean, you know my story, you know that I've, struggled.
Yeah.
But knowing that I'm not alone in struggling makes my life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So please know that you're not alone in what you're going through.
Andy, maybe we can have a little struggle together on the 28th of July in Manchester. How's about that?
I look forward to it, man. I really do.
Thank you very much indeed. 0344 499 1000. We're going to Manchester, Catherine and I. You're right.
Yeah, I just want to, before I tell Frank what I reckon to his complaint, I thought I'd have a listen to it and see what actually happened as opposed to what he thinks he heard.
Yeah.
So I'm having a listen.
Okay, so this is the guy we were speaking to earlier who wanted to complain about the BBC. Kath knows what it is that he's complained about, and a lot of it was, I was only half listening, I think I heard.
Yeah, and what he heard sounds outrageous for 17:50 on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, military time.
So I'm having a listen. Because context is everything, and that's what Ofcom would look at. Because, Radio 4 have broadcast quite strong sexual swear words within dramas,
a few
haven't they?
people on the YouTube channel are saying that they've listened to it, the Michael Bentine programme, and there is the line, hang all the ends.
Yeah, that's the bit. But I'm trying to work out what the context is. And
okay. I'm sure it wasn't Michael Bentine calling for the extermination of...
He's talking, it's like It'll Be All Right on the Night type programme about... fluffs and mistakes that went out in the olden days.
And just to clarify, we don't think Alan Fluff Freeman was calling for the...
So let me have a listen, because context is all in this
stuff.
All
right, lovely. Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Thomas. Good evening, Thomas.
Hey, mate.
Hey, Thomas, what you got for us?
It's Thomas from Ireland.
It's Thomas Walsh from No, you're not from Ireland. You're from Pugwash, and you are Ireland. Hello, man. How you doing?
Hey, mate. I just wanted to give you a ring. I was listening to the show, but I was having a few wine gums.
Uh-oh, dude.
Yeah, I know, but I was having a few wine gums watching, I don't know, Storage Wars, maybe. And I went onto YouTube and I seen that, and I came right in on that guy on the call.
Yeah.
That was comic gold. You have to put that up as a separate piece.
The Keith, the angry Keith.
Yeah.
It's a funny old thing, Thomas. I'm just starting to come to the conclusion that, it's not the worst thing I've ever been said, but people need to be made aware that just because I'm on the radio, just because you make records, or just because, whatever is on that we're still human beings. Yeah, we're open. You criticise our work. Please criticise our work. That is completely acceptable and is fine. But to insult us personally is inappropriate. There's a reaction to it.
Well, I've had a few moments. I've had a few people. I've had a lot of people saying nasty things just because I always seem to get out of a bit my brusque Irish wit.
Yeah.
That people don't seem to like, but I love using that when it's needed. It seems to cut through a lot of barriers, but people get very offended and then they give out and stuff. But to be honest with you, having that high ground is a kind of cool thing to come back at. I thought it was brilliant what you did.
Well, Keith has just while you're talking to me, Thomas, Keith has just texted again. Would you like to hear it?
I'd love to hear it.
It's a little dig. Hey, Ian.
Go for it.
Hey, Ian. Do you ever deal with people who are ready and prepared for your call? Keith. Keith, low blow, dude. Phone up again if you want, man. I'll do the whole show talking to you if you want, Keith. But just please, these cowardly little digs. You sent something, and you were challenged on it. That's it, man. And I was so polite to you, and I could have gone another way. And I was so polite to you, Keith. So just calm down, dude.
Yeah, but the end of it,
block your number.
The end of it was the comic gold.
Of course it was.
It started off at the twat thing, then it went all the way around the houses, and then it came back to that beautiful ending.
Yeah.
Which was just the same.
It's I'm just you know me, Thomas. You know maybe I overreact to things. No, I don't. I react as the way I react. And this last couple of weeks is tough, man.
You are who you are.
Yeah.
That's exactly who you are. You're a lovely, honest, loving guy. And the thing is, the reason why I rang you up was I wanted to ask you something about mental health because I never really talked to you about that in a way. But do you know the way I've said to you? I've texted you and said, "Look, mate, if you want to talk." Give us a call.
Yes.
I'm always here. Now, I've been busy the last few months. I was touring with Nick Hayward. It was all great. We had a brilliant time. So I missed stuff that you were doing in between, and a lot of stuff seemed to happen in between, which I missed a lot of stuff. But is there anything other than really good therapy and really good drugs with mental health that genuinely works? Because when people say to you, ring me if you're feeling down, do you ever ring anybody?
Man, that is a great question, Thomas. That is a great question. And I've had, a few good people, right? I'm gonna drop a few names, okay? And I never drop names. But these are the caliber of people that have been in touch with me saying, give us a call if you're struggling. You, Adam Buxton, Danny Wallace, Mackenzie. These are people that I sort of know a little bit. They've all got in touch with me privately and said, if you're struggling, give me a call. And the answer is no. I can't call them. I texted the last time. Okay, when I had a little. So after not using drugs for 13 years, I had a little flirtation with them again, and decided it wasn't the thing I wanted. And I did get in touch with Danny Wallace during that, saying, "Danny, I'm in a really dark place," and I can't phone people up. Occasionally, I'll message Kath and say, "Kath." But no, and these lovely offers from these lovely, warm-hearted, genuine people who mean it. It's not a nicety. Hey, man, give us a call. It's, hey, if you're struggling, give us a call and I'd love to talk to you. I'll come and, Danny invited me to his house and in the country for a weekend and roast dinners. And I can't do it, Thomas. I can't do it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I just wanted to tell you that I've stopped doing it for you. Not because I've given up on you. It's because I really don't think it's something that can offer help for you. We can talk shit about Mike Nesmith for 2 hours and how the fact that you brought out a wonderful record by him, which is available now, by the way.
I've got to send you, we haven't sent you it yet, have we?
Not the 7A new one, not the live. Who cares? I'll get it anyway. Of course I will.
No, I'm emailing Glenn, and we're gonna send it to you. Can you?
We know you. You've got a form. You'll only nick it if we don't give it to you.
Yes, this was the whole reason for the phone conversation. Yes.
You want a vinyl, don't you?
I'd love a vinyl.
It's happening.
What I'm saying to you is, I really thought, do you know what? That could do more harm. Those texts where you say, "Ring me." And then you might feel I haven't rung them, and you feel worse. So I just wanted you to know.
Bless you, brother.
I
You're
won't
a good
send you
man.
that text again, but I still love you.
I tell you what, you can. You've got my new number, haven't you? I changed it maybe about 4 months ago.
Yes, I'm pretty sure you'd send it to me.
Okay, send me your address, and we'll get the Mike Nesmith live vinyl out to you this week.
Don't worry about it. I know how much you spent.
Shut up, man. Honestly, we've got enough for movers and shakers. Okay, it's just the plebs that got to pay for it.
Well, I'll have copies of Orange Vinyl, Pugwash, Olympus Sound.
There we go. It's a nice little trade-off. Send me your address. And Thomas, do you know what? That's what you asked is brilliant, because I get so many people saying, "Oh, my husband struggles, or my daughter struggles, or what can I do?" So you asking that is a brilliant thing, and also explain. It's a very depression is a very isolating disease. And it's difficult for people in it to reach out. And then people who are outside offering the help sometimes take it personally, or sometimes go, well, they don't want my help. Or, so I'm glad you asked that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not a problem. It's like the obesity thing as well. I've dealt with that all my life. So, if you don't, you have to do it yourself in a way. There can be so much help. but you don't reach out really. You have to start from within. That's the thing, you know.
Hey, nice one, man. It's good to talk to you, Thomas. I love you, brother.
I love you both. Yeah, say hi, Catherine.
Hiya. I'm all right. Nice to hear your voice.
Yeah, it's cool to speak to you. So look, have a great show. That was comic gold. You have to get him up. I just kept thinking of Kayvan Novak.
Who?
You know, face jacker, you know.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we found this great show called Nathan for You. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Mate, go and find it on a hooky website. It's American, and it's a comedy, but it's done like it's The Apprentice or something. It's funny,
It's
man.
done like one of those sort of business fix programs, but it's clearly not. But also, there's a real blur between who knows what's going on and who doesn't.
It's funny, man. I think you might like it.
Okay, mate, I'll check it out.
Bless you, Thomas. Speak soon. Ta-ta.
I love you all.
Bye, Thomas Walsh.
He's a good one, isn't he?
0344 499 1000. We've got Kevin, Mark, George, Angela, Darren, in no particular order. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.
Let's go to Kevin. Good evening, Kevin.
Good evening. How's it going?
It's all right, Kev. What you got?
Oh, I just want to log a complaint if that's all right with you.
Oh, no! Okay, go on then.
You and your bastard shows, it's terrorising my marriage.
Okay, well, watch your language a little bit. Why is it terrorising your marriage?
I just want to make a request. Can you delete my wife off your Periscope so I can have my marriage back?
Yeah, no. Language, Kevin. I think she's off there to escape your abusive tongue. Let's try Darren. Good evening, Darren.
How you doing, Ian?
I'm very well, mate. What have you got for us?
I've got some things for you. First, I want to say hi, Kath, what have I got for you? I was
Are you not going to say hi back to him, Kath?
Well, he carried on. Hello.
No, you were eating chocolate. That's why.
I was eating chocolate, and I'm sure you'd understand.
No, I was laughing because the last time I got thrown off the show because I swore.
Oh, God.
I was actually kind of thinking, he called me Swearing Darren, for Glasgow.
Oh, I remember you. Yes, your potty mouth. Yes, I hope you've washed your mouth out with soap since then.
Dirty Darren.
Yes, I have. No, but I've got a couple of topics that I really want to bring up, and I think it should be highlighted, right?
Okay.
Now, I suffer from depression and alcoholic and a chronic pain sufferer, and what I've found dealing with these things is, see, when you become a complex patient with the NHS, it's almost like they don't want to know.
Oh yeah, you told us this before, didn't you? That you were getting pushed from pillar to post when dealing with all of your issues.
Yeah. But let me tell you this, right?
Yes.
So basically, my mom started off. I was out walking my dog. My mood is deteriorating rapidly. So I was crying when I was walking my dog because I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do to try and get myself better? I've tried all the different medications that they've offered me and stuff like that. And I seem to react to them, and I'm just at a loss of what to do. I'm just like, what the hell do I do here, And I get to that point where you think you're at a jumping off point, and you don't want to do it because you think there must be a solution somewhere.
But you can't see any other option. There's no other route.
Yeah, but you get that's the kind of thinking that starts to take shape. But it's what I found out, Ian, what I done was something that I decided to take it upon myself to asked for all my medical records.
Oh, yeah.
And I was totally... And you're allowed to do that by, the Data Protection Act.
Yeah.
So I got all my records, and I was totally... I think it's important for people to know, what's been said about them. You know what I mean? As in, like, you go into a doctor's and you present me a problem, and then, the next thing you've got this misinformation written about you, which I found out.
Yeah.
And it's quite hurtful to hear things like that spoke about you. You know what I mean? Like,
but are they being? But are these notes? I've never seen my medical notes. Are they being personally critical or medically factual?
Let me give you an idea then, right? So I go down to London, right? The NHS sends me down to London, okay? I go down to see a professor, no any professor, an authority on peripheral neuropathy, okay?
Okay.
And he diagnoses me. Does a test. And he takes a skin out my leg and a bit out my thigh. Now, when they test that, they find out I've got a condition called small fibre neuropathy, right?
Okay, right.
So I come back up the road. That's great. I'm in Glasgow now. So I go to see a psychiatrist because I've got a mood problem.
Yeah.
And he says, the diagnosis that you got done in London was a misdiagnosis.
Yeah, you told us this, yeah.
It's very, very, you know, one's contradicting the other, but meanwhile, I'm stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
We are a very difficult situation, you know, and I liked what you talked about. It's, you know, I think when you're going through tough times, I think for me, I will always reach out to somebody. I would always call somebody before I took a drastic measure, or I'd done something stupid. And I'd always think that people should always. I think that we should always be able to talk about what's going on before, you know, we do something stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, what? When you say do something stupid, do you mean like top yourself?
Aye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. I don't think anyone could argue with that. It's always better to try and talk. Here's the thing. I talked about, you know, friends or people who in the business who I don't know that well reaching out to me, but it's easier, I find, to call someone I don't know, which is why I'm such a big advocate of the Samaritans, because I have called them a handful of times and they have broken the spell of suicidal feelings. They've not fixed anything, they've not cured anything, but it's like squeezing that pimple and all that mashed potato comes out. It just breaks the spell a little bit and allows me to get home safely.
Yeah. I mean, I think all these organisations are great, and I just recently read Frank Bruno's book, about, you know, his trials and tribulations with the mental health stuff, and it was a good book, man. I would recommend it to anybody, man. You know, and you see a guy who's big and strong like that, who's a fighter, and I think mental health affects anybody, man. Yes. It can affect anybody, and I think that patients and people should be listened to. Because people who are going through this stuff, I think, like from my own experience, I felt as if I've not been listened to. Yeah, and see, because I've been very kind of assertive and advocating for myself. A lot of these doctors don't like you, like, you know, when you're armed with the facts about yourself. They don't like that. They don't like you saying, you know, you don't. It's almost like you should go in there and let me give you a laugh, right? I went in. And I spoke to a psychiatrist, and basically I told him I was suicidal and I was feeling very, very low. And he turned around and said to me, "Darren, you're not suicidal. You're frustrated and you're angry." And I said, "How do you work that one out?" He says, "Well, you can argue and you're articulate and you can speak for yourself. So what does being suicidal look like? So if you can talk and speak for yourself, that doesn't mean you're suicidal."
Well, I think we know, one knows how one feels better than a psychiatrist can, but they can be very helpful in maybe providing a little bit of clarity and joining in some dots. You know how you feel. If you feel suicidal, then that's your feeling, and you own that. But other people can only offer suggestions as to why or how or what that actually is.
Yeah.
How are you doing today, Darren?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm kind of up and down. My days are really up and down, to be honest with you. I went to an Al-Anon meeting tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And I walked out. I was very anxious, I was very irritated, and I had a sickly feeling, and I just walked out. And that's all right. That's all right to walk out, you know what I mean? I just didn't feel like... It is. But what my main concern is getting my mood sorted out, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to be feeling like it's like being on, you know, like what's the roller coaster? One of these roller coasters. It's been on. My life is like being on a roller coaster with emotions every day. Yeah. Highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows. That cannot. There's only so much that can go. Like you can do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
You know yourself. I mean, it's great to have fellowship.
It's exhausting, man. It's exhausting and it's torture. Hey, Darren, listen, I've got to move on because we've got so many calls for some reason, which always concerns me that I've done something wrong. Well done for not swearing, Darren. You get 5 bonus points for that. We'll speak again soon, man. Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Paul. Good evening, Paul.
Hello, Ian and Kath. How you doing?
Paul.
Hello, Paul.
Good. I just had a phone up. I've been to the opening of... I got invited to the opening of the Magical History Museum on Matthew Street.
Oh, you sent me a tweet about this, didn't you? Or an email or something. Yeah. So what is this, a Beatles museum?
It's a Beatles museum on Matthew Street. It's just opened up tonight. And it's basically sort of been opened up by a guy called Rogue Best. Rogue Best is Pete Best's brother, who's also Neil Aspinall's son. And Neil Aspinall was the head of Apple.
Hang on a minute. Neil Aspinall's son is Pete Best's brother. How does that work?
Does that mean that Pete Best is Neil Aspinall's?
No.
No.
So, who... Hang on. Right, hang on a minute. This is probably a lot easier than I think. So, Neil Aspinall is there. His son is this guy. What's his name? Rogue?
He's called Rogue, yeah. He's a friend of Craig Charles as well, you know.
Right, Pete Best. Okay, so who is his mum? If Neil Aspinall is...
His mother is Mona Best. And Mona Best was the owner of the Casbah.
Yeah! And Neil Aspinall wasn't married to Mona Best, was he? Was he?
No.
They just had a ding-dong. Wow. I did
anyway,
not know that. Wow.
So Rogue's there, and all the Best family are there and everything. And also, Rogue's daughter is the actress who was with Nesbitt. Was it Nesbitt he's called, isn't he? In Cold Feet. I don't know if you've seen the latest season of that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Mancunian girl.
Oh.
Yeah. That's his daughter.
Is Paul making this up just to try and crowbar as many showbiz people that he can? This sounds insane, Paul.
It was great. I told Rogue I was going to talk to you, and he was buzzing. I reckon you'd be sorted for a personal tour anyway.
I'm in. Well, get Rogue to give us get him to get in touch.
If one of these things come up again, I know you like sort of like just like Brilliant Nights that are really good.
I love Brilliant Nights. I really love Brilliant Nights.
Well, there was members of the Mersey Beats were there. The Quarrymen that were the remaining members of the Quarrymen were there. It was just mad, man. It was lovely. It was great.
Was it Fab and was it Gear?
It was Gear and Fab.
Yes, man!
Flanagan was there, who's one of Paul's best friends in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And Joe basically he was the guy that helped Brian Epstein's business.
Yeah.
So he's still in contact with Joe. So Joe will be at all the concerts again. And Joe's must be in his 80s now. So I had to get a chair for him outside. It got a bit too much for him. But yeah, it was just mega, man. It was like exactly the kind of thing you'd love. You know what I mean?
Mate. Here's the thing, because I've only been to Liverpool twice. Once was for some filming, and so I didn't really see, I was in and out. And once was last year to go up and see, a couple of years ago, to go and see one of the Monkeys at the fake cavern.
Yeah.
And it's nuts that I've not, because I love the Beatles so much, it's nuts that I've not been to Liverpool and done a proper Beatles tour.
I'll give you a tour around, honestly, because, like I said, I'm going to phone Iain up tonight, because I know Rogue's really, really nice guy, very approachable. Every time, I've ever had any dealings with Rogue, he's just been brilliant.
Hang on a minute, Catherine's...
I don't think he's going to be very happy with you.
Oh, why?
I've just looked up Rogue Best.
Uh-oh.
Via Leanne Best.
Uh-oh, Paul.
Rogue Best's mum is Mona Best, you're right. But his dad is Johnny Best.
Uh-oh, Paul!
No, that's the thing. But check it out. Check out Neil Aspinall's offspring.
Right, go to Neil Aspinall.
Has anyone told Johnny?
Father. But basically, sort of the thing was, he was a boarder with Mona Best.
Neil Aspinall, children, Gayla and Vincent.
Paul, what have you done? You've got us in trouble with the beat.
Hang on, Vincent Best. I wonder if that's Rogue Best.
It's basically sort of it's pretty common Beatles knowledge that Rogue is.
Go, Paul! You can't give us that. We're gonna get sued.
No, Vincent is Rogue. There we go.
Mate, we nearly got Paul McCartney's lawyers onto us, trying to sue our asses off, man.
I didn't know it was Vincent, though. I always called him Rogue.
Vincent, I say.
Yeah. So I mean, Rogue's lovely, but he was like, he sort of like say, happily give you a tour around and stuff. Mate. He also owns the Casbah. The Casbah Club as well is open.
Mate, are you in touch with him?
Yeah.
Get him to send me an email and we'll sort something out.
Cool. And by the way, Pete Best played tonight, and he was great. He was really, really good.
He was always a great drummer. That's the thing. His timing was a little iffy, but he was great. He was just too good looking. Paul, thank you for that, mate. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you had a good night. That sounds good, doesn't it? That sounds perfect. Bit of that. 0344 499 1000. The late night alternative with Iain Lee and Catherine Boyle on Talk Radio.
Dead of night discourse for disco queens.
I'm related to Jedward and Dolly Parton.
Dairy farmers and distant fathers.
Yeah, whatever.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee.
Doing lots of things that we don't know about, we can't control.
On Talk Radio.
Yes, great.
Alexa, play LBC. Yes, man. Here we go. To a young lady who's got me in trouble, not just romantically, but also in the press. It's Angela.
Oh, Angela.
Angela! I mean, you know I sang a song about holding your cups and licking your behind? Yeah. Well, that's in the Mirror. The Daily Mirror have printed the lyrics to that song without permission, and they've cited it. They've used it to cite that this show is filthy, and I'm having a mental breakdown. I'm just a single guy, and I'm a songwriter. You put those two things together, you're going to get romantic tunes. Look at Neil Diamond.
Yeah. Don't think he ever talked about anyone's cups or behind.
Yeah, only because he was restricted by the 70s values.
Oh.
Anyway, Angela, we really need to finish this off.
No, please.
No, I mean split up. I think we need
we'll have to split up.
I think we're going to have to split up, Angela, because it's going to be... I don't want you dragged through the press as my lady of the night.
So are you really splitting up, or is it just... You say that now, and then you'll go...
Lady of the night.
And then you'll slide into the DMs.
I love you with all my might. Let me slide into you and your DMs. I want to touch your thighs. Look deep into your eyes as I make love to you from behind. We'll have a mirror.
I was going to ask.
We'll have a mirror.
The Daily Mirror.
Anyway, don't worry about them. I'm tough old bad me.
Oh, okay, fine. In that case, get them off. I'll be there in 20 minutes. What can we do for you tonight, Angela, apart from please you?
Well, Mum said, she sent you a message, she said, you're lovely, and she said, take no notice of everyone.
Your mum said that... hang on, your mum said what?
That you love her.
My mum said that you were lovely and should not take no notice of everyone.
Did she hear the song, Angela?
Yeah, she heard the song. She knows.
She's cool.
Yeah, she said... Eh?
You've got carte blanche.
Oh, yeah. Don't talk to me about carte blanche. That was a nightmare relationship. What a woman she was. Is your mum single, Angela?
No, she's still with my dad. My dad's still around.
What's his hearing like?
Depends what mood he's in.
Oh, okay. If he's in a sleepy mood, well, let's talk about it off air. My boss said he said, Ian, please, not tonight. Just let me have one night off. Sorry, Denny. Sorry, Denny. Well, that's very kind of you. Your mum sounds like an absolutely delightful human being, Angela, and it shows because you're a delightful human being as well.
Thank you. Don't worry about the press. Just ignore them.
Bless you.
Anyway, do you know those I got an Echo, Alexa.
Echo. Yes.
Well, I've had to turn mine off.
Because it's rubbish.
No, I was trying to do my bedroom up because I put my books back and it started to say things like, I don't know that one.
What?
Did you go, I don't know that one?
But were you talking to it?
No, I was just looking through my books.
Wow.
Hey, my Siri started to backchat me. I went into the house the other day and I went, hey! And I heard this little voice go, hey! And then I looked at my phone and it said, I've learned a new trick. Freaky.
See, they're always, and we got idiots
all the time.
We got idiots like Roger who goes, you need it. You need it for people like me who are visually impaired. Jog on, fella. We don't need nothing for the visually impaired, okay? So, all right, you can have it. Just give them you can have it, right? But they monitor everything. Everything is being monitored by those evil machines, right? And Roger, people like Roger, they're visually impaired. Oh, I can't see nothing. Well, do you know what? That's tough, because I want my freedom, and I don't want this world to be taken over by self-reliant robots or blind people.
And Alan Mosk.
There we go. Alan Mosk. Exactly, Angela. Let's go and smash all of the machines.
They're a bit spooky, aren't they?
They are very spooky, Angela. Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Mark. Good evening, Mark.
Hi, Ian. Hi, Catherine.
Hello, Mark. Are you in the same building as your telephone?
Yeah, why? What's up?
It sounds pony. Maybe you could pick it up and put it by your head, like the old days.
I am. I think it's just the quality of this handset.
I think it's the quality
You
of the
sound
caller.
very echoey. Do you live in a cathedral?
Well, I'm in my block of flats, aren't I? At the top of the tower block. So,
Well, but hang on, are you in your flat or are you the top of the stairwell?
No, I'm actually in my flat. But
well, that doesn't make things echoey.
I know exactly which flat you're in, Mark, if it's in Bletchley.
Yeah, the big block of flats.
Yes.
Yeah. It does pick up quite well, actually. If I come out onto the balcony, probably hear trains or something coming past.
No, we hit.
You know why? He's a code breaker, Bletchley.
Talking normally, I haven't got one of them Alexas. I don't think I'd ever have one.
No, they're for perverts. Only a pervert would have one. Alexa, talk dirty to me for approximately 90 seconds.
I do a lot of talking to myself, so I'm assuming it's like a parrot. It'll repeat back, or it'll give you an alternative answer, or something
it'll
like
buy
that.
things for you, do all sorts.
No, it's.
Yeah.
I would not
Hey,
get one.
I was curious. I heard Frank when he called in, and I think Catherine, you started to answer it. Was it on 4 Extra, the programme?
It was on 4 Extra, and I've just had a listen. It was Michael Bentine's.
Yeah,
Michael
I've
Bentine's
seen
Potty
that
Mouth.
now. Yeah,
Jester Strikes Back. It'll be all right in the night. And what it was...
Shut up, man! She's talking! You've asked her a question! Give the lady a little bit of room!
Go on, Catherine.
Is everybody ready? I'll
Yes! Yes, we are.
Okay. So towards the end of the programme, he's talking... It'll be all right on the night on the radio. So he's talking about all these old programmes, and he's talking about not working with animals and old ladies in this case, right? So he's talking about an old American television host who told him that one of the worst things that happened to him in his career was, he's interviewing members of his studio audience, and he finds this really nice, sweet little old lady from Alabama with her son, and she talks about how she's having a wonderful time in the big city and it's all new to her, and she's never seen a TV program go out before. It's all this sweet stuff. And he says, "Oh, so I hear you're a piano player. I hear you're great at it." She says, "Oh no, but I'll tickle the ivories and I dabble." And he says, "Well, would you play one for us tonight?" Now, bearing in mind, the setup has been, really hit home that she's from Alabama. So she strikes up a tune on the piano, and it all seems rather jolly until she starts to sing. And what she sings is very racist by their standards then and by our standards now. But he actually says what she sang.
Right.
Hang all the N-words.
Oh.
And shoot another section of society, and talking about Catholic, and it just and then he said, and then the plug is pulled. Right, so I can see where the context is, and they're not saying that it's great, and they're not sort of endorsing that kind of sentiment at all. But you've got to bear in mind this went out at 5 to 6 on a Saturday evening, so that's why your fella Frankie was shocked by it.
Here's the thing,
and he only half heard it. He only heard those words.
I don't think that complaint would be upheld, either by Ofcom or by the BBC Trust.
Right.
I don't think
you
it'll
can
be
see
upheld.
why you'd be shocked by it.
Oh yeah, no, of course I couldn't. If I'd been with my kids, it would have been awkward. But 4 and 4 Extra, they kind of have different dispensation. I've heard the C word on a play on Radio 4 in the afternoon, so they have different rules because of the context, and people know what the station is and all of that. And
but that doesn't mean that if you're not offended that you shouldn't complain. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
If a lot of people do, they won't be able to ignore it.
And if your complaint with the BBC doesn't get upheld, go to Ofcom, and if that doesn't get upheld, then go back to the BBC and push a poo through their letterbox. That's what you need to do, Mark.
Well, it's strange, I spent 25 years as a Radio 4 listener, and then in 2000 I jumped to local radio.
Idiot.
But a couple of years ago I went back into Radio 4 just to pick up on some of these panel games and stuff, Yes. I did it over about a month, and I was surprised, actually. I did hear a few of the old swear words, which you wouldn't have heard, back in the 70s and 80s sort of thing. I was a bit surprised. I weren't I thought, oh, that's a bit...
do you know, I mean, I swear a little bit too much on this show, and certainly tonight, but, if the odd word gets out, I'm not really that.
I've never ever... I did call JVS a pompous A once on a programme, and that's the only time I've actually swore on radio.
He is. How's Justin Dealey doing? I've not spoken to Justin for ages. Is he good?
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's top man.
Good.
Yeah, nice bloke.
He's a good lad. Next time you speak to him, send
I
mine and
will
Cass
do.
best.
Yeah,
All right,
honestly.
Mark.
But yeah, as I say, I listen to, because I'm very curious when somebody says tempts us with, I've got this complaint. I don't really want to talk about it, and it gets me interested. So I
thought it was weird. I thought it was weird that he wouldn't even give us the context on air.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a
strange, isn't it?
He was a strange gentleman.
He was obviously very shocked, and I think
Yes.
particularly the N-word is, shocking.
Thank you very much, Mark. Although that fella on local radio got the sack for playing The Sun Has Got His Hat On, didn't he?
Did he?
That had the M-word in. He got the sack.
Did he?
Yeah. BBC's all over the place. Dear Tony Hall, stand down. Stand down. You know, I'm going to say it, and I've met the man, the most ineffectual head of the BBC since the last guy, Mark Thompson. Those two, just useless. Absolutely. Tony Hall is useless. With all this Cliff Richard stuff, whatever you think about that, I think they should introduce a Cliff's Law, and it means that you can only make great music. But whatever you think about, Cliff Richard as a person, the BBC treated him appallingly, and it was awful. And about an hour before it happened, everybody in the BBC on their internal messaging service got a message. I can't remember if it named Cliff Richard, but that certainly gave, because I phoned up someone and
said a VIP.
Yeah,
didn't it?
I phoned up someone and said, I think it's going to be Cliff. So the clues were there. And the treatment of Cliff Richard has been, could you go online? There's all these rumours about Cliff Richard, right? But you can write anything online. You can go online and you can write anything. It's like people say, well, I saw it on a film on YouTube. I could go and say that Kath is a Nazi who eats children and make a film of it and put it on YouTube. It doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't mean anything. So there's all this stuff that's out there, and that must be tough to contend with as a human being. But when the treatment was awful, the helicopters was awful. Then putting it in for an RTS, Royal Television Society award was awful. And then coming out, right, and at the end going, the head of the big news, his name escapes me, going, well, okay, we're considering whether we're going to appeal or not. So you're not sorry. You're not sorry then. All right. And if you're going to appeal, then okay. If you feel you've got a right to appeal, then you should appeal. Of course you should. It's how the legal system works. But how about just coming out and going, do you know what? We treated an old innocent guy terribly. And next time we wouldn't get the helicopters. Next time we wouldn't do the blanket coverage. Next time we'd handle it differently. I think it's right that it got reported. That I don't want to do that whole phone issue. I don't want to do that. But the way the BBC handled it was terrible.
I wonder whether there was an element of having missed it when it came to Savile.
Yeah, possibly.
And also trying to show that it's not all on our watch. All the stuff that went on with the BBC during those times.
Tony Hall, stand down, man. Stand down. You got no right being there.
Yeah, Cliff did look like a broken man, didn't he?
Well, Cliff, he is 77 and he's always been thin, and he's been thin and gaunt for the last 15 years. So I don't know, but you wouldn't want to wish that on anybody.
No.
If you want to read a good book about that kind of stuff, I can't remember what it's called, the Paul Gambaccini book about when he was accused of sex crimes, and there was nothing in it. It's a great book. It's called something like 1,227 days. That's what I'm gonna say. It's a great book. I mean, really.
My year under...
Something like that. My year under the hammer. Let's go to...
Under the yew tree.
There we go. Let's go to George. Evening, George.
Good evening, Ian.
Good evening, George. What have you got for us this evening?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. Is there any possibility in the future you would do a radio show from the Maps Studio Cafe?
No.
No.
What happened at your latest launch?
Oh, yeah, what happened to the launch?
It didn't go the way I was...
Did it go the way we anticipated?
Sorry?
Did it go the way that we anticipated?
How did you anticipate it?
Not many people would turn up and it wouldn't be the start of anything. It would just be a pleasant evening for a handful of people.
Something like that.
Thank you very much indeed. Here we go.
I've noticed, though, that you're a very, for someone who believes in fate and things happening because they're supposed to happen,
yeah.
You haven't been satisfied with any of the launches so far.
No, but it's all building up, and there are a number of bands working on a lyric, and those will be going up to be downloaded soon, so people will be joining Wonder Party bands, and we're targeting.
And if I were to tell you that people wouldn't be joining Wonder Party bands, and my predictions so far have been 100% with your endeavours, what would you say to that? I'm right.
I'd say you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, if we compare...
Should we talk after the next launch?
If we compare predictions for the last event, I was closer than you.
Yeah, probably. Okay. But everything is being controlled. But what is going on in your mind, Ian?
No, it's not.
It is definitely being controlled. You have a soulmate on the other side that controls your mind. We all do.
No, we don't.
And you need to communicate with soulmate, and you really do. I know you've got a lot of faith in your therapist and what have you, but your therapist doesn't understand what is made to go on in your mind, doesn't understand what's made to go on in his mind or her mind.
Okay. He knows a lot more than my was it my other half in the spirit world? Trust me.
Trust me, he doesn't.
Trust me, he does.
No, he really doesn't.
He does.
Ian,
Can I intervene? He's actually done a really good job.
Yeah.
Has he?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's if he's given you something.
Trust me, he knows.
Sorry?
He knows.
No, he doesn't know.
He knows.
What does he know?
Trust me, he knows.
Yeah, but what? What is it that he knows?
He knows.
No, he doesn't.
He knows. Trust me, he knows.
No, trust me, he doesn't.
No, George. Trust me, he knows. Trust me, he knows.
I am saying to you that we all have a soulmate on the other side.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
How can you say that?
Trust me, I know.
You don't know?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You're speaking to someone who back in
No, I'm not.
1976
No, you
had
didn't.
months of very mystical experiences that changed my life completely, and tuned me into my soulmate on
The Late Night Alternative with Ian Lee
on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Good tonight.
disgusting.
Oh, yeah, shut up, Keith Moon, you old druggie. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative, weeknights from 10 p.m. You can listen on DAB, you can download the app, or go to talkradio.co.uk if you want to watch the show with extra swears, extra anguish, sometimes self-filleting dogs. YouTube.com/Iain Lee, find the live video, and then kiss my chuddies. Let's go to Sally. Sally's a lady caller.
Hello?
Oh, good blimey. Hello, Sally.
First of all, Kevin is my husband trying to tell me to stop watching you.
Uh-oh. Kevin,
yeah.
get lost, Kev, you square. I'm talking to your missus now. How'd you like them
you
apples?
Tell him.
Get lost, Kevin. You're a square, you're a loser. I'm talking to your lady friend, your missus, your wife, and she likes me more than she likes you. So why don't you just get lost, go out for a walk, take the dog for a walk, and go and stay in a motel somewhere, 'cause me and Sally, we got some business we got to get down to. Isn't that right, Sally? We got to get down to some business. Yes!
That's it, you tell him.
I've told him, love.
Tell him.
I've told him, love.
Oh, do you want to get an hotel if you're going through a divorce?
Yeah, sure, why not? I'm up for that, go on.
I'm down for that.
All right, fine. Well, you're in Sheffield. I'm in London. What's kind of hot, Catherine? Could you Google for us? Hope this isn't inappropriate. Could you Google for me and Sally halfway point, Trust House Forte?
Hang on, Sheffield.
Halfway between Sheffield and London, because we're gonna have a little bit of fun.
I don't want to know.
We're gonna have sex.
This is inappropriate.
We're gonna have sexual.
I don't need to know about it.
Relations,
please.
In a hotel room.
And I'm not going to be. I mean, what am I now? I'm.
I'll book the room if you pay for the porn, Sally.
Oh my God.
We don't need no porn.
Oi! Oh yes. Oh!
Right, it's looking like
Yeah,
you
go
want to
on.
be somewhere around the romantic area of Royal Leamington Spa.
Hey, that sounds alright, doesn't it, Sal?
Yeah, where's that?
It's halfway between here and there.
We're not meeting up for the brains. Okay. So what?
Hotels Leamington Spa.
Should we meet at what? Saturday night?
I've got a moth in the mouth.
You've got what?
A moth in the mouth.
A moth in your mouth?
Yeah.
You dirt. What is this? Go.
Oh, you can get one for 54 quid.
There we go. Fine, but she's got a moth mouth.
Well, you chose her.
I don't want to go with a moth mouth lady.
You've just ruined her marriage. You owe her.
How do I? If I just cut her off without even saying goodbye or anything, is that rude?
Well, you're ghosting her.
She's gone.
Gosh.
I don't want to go with a moth mouth lady. God. That's disgusting. What a disgusting human being. You let me sink to that level. You're supposed to be my best mate. You're supposed to make me a better human being. That's your fault that I was going to check into a cheap hotel with a moth mouth lady. Wow. Catherine, you think so little of me. Failed. You're cancelled.
It's your life, mate.
And it's her moth mouth.
Well, you picked her.
You should have stepped in. Let's go to...
I don't want to get involved. I don't know why I'm not stepping in.
want
I'll be nowhere near.
Good evening. We need you to...
No.
To sit in the car.
What?
Good evening, Ray.
Good evening.
Good evening, Ray. What would you like to say today, Ray?
How am I doing on the not being able to hear me radar?
I have no idea. Catherine, do you know what that means?
Sadly, you sound quite clear tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll have to find another reason to call you off.
Got a new phone.
Oh,
we splashed out on a new phone. That's very exciting.
Well, not really, no. Just an upgrade.
I'm never going to buy a new phone ever again as long as I live. Although I was thinking of, if I ever get this new house, of buying a dialer.
I've got one.
A dialer? A proper...
Yeah. Yeah.
But does it work?
Yeah, but it's annoying, because if you want to phone someone quick, you...
Yeah, well, just slow down. Take a chill pill. Relax. Relaxez-vous, s'il vous plaît, mademoiselle.
Like, when I've lost my phone and I just want to ring it, it takes me ages.
Well, then just relax, slow down. I want everything to slow down. I want to live to 123, and that means I've got to slow down the vibe. So I want that. So what? It takes you an extra, 18 seconds to make a phone call? Kiss that.
Wow.
Ray, come on, let's get to the chase now. We've just spoken to a moth-mouthed lady. I'm disgusted with myself.
Well, again, I rang up wanting to make one point.
Just make the point. Don't go. I don't want your life story, man. Just it's like the guy that phoned up earlier on and said, right, before I get to what I want to say, let me say this. And I've said to him, well, you want to say this. You're saying this. And he said, actually, and I said, don't. And he didn't.
We don't want the origin story. Just the story.
Just give us the story, Ray.
But I've changed my mind.
I don't care. Just tell me what. Just say something, because you are yay close to getting cut off. My breakdown is coming back. It's coming back. I'm using Cass microphones. It's coming back. I'm using double microphones. It's coming back. Shut up! Shut up, man! I'm using 2 microphones. It's coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. My breakdown is coming back because of you, Ray. Now speak.
Oh, you've spat on this.
Yes, that's not spit. Speak, Ray.
Okay, so in 2005, when I was still in the police, I lost my best friend who died very suddenly at the age of 46.
Hang on a second, Catherine. What's wrong?
I mean, you could have warned us.
Hey, listen,
Ray, you could have
I tried to.
He tried to, Catherine, and you weren't prepared to listen. I knew what was coming up, and you're doing a little comedy rant for the listeners. Ray said...
I'm doing a comedy rant.
Yes, you are, exactly. And he's told us, he has confided in us and he's about to tell us a very heartwarming, sad, but uplifting story, I suspect.
You've been shouting at him.
And your behaviour has been unacceptable. Ray, I'd like to apologise on behalf of myself, behalf of Catherine, on behalf of Rupert Murdoch and Rebecca Brooks and everybody here at the News Corps family. We are sincerely sorry. There'll be a box of chocolates and some flowers on their way to you soon. Please tell your story, and I will certainly be listening with an open ears and an open heart. Away you go, Ray. Thank you.
There's no need to be sorry, but... on a serious note, I've only ever told this story since last Christmas. So 2005, my friend of 10 years, we joined the police at the same time. Then he died in his sleep. No previous conditions or anything, he just died.
Flippin' heck, man.
And then 3 days later, the London bombings happened.
Oh, my God. Wowzers.
And then... Oh, God. So I drove to a certain part of Surrey and covered the inside of my car with a newspaper.
No, Ray, no!
Oh, it gets better. I had a bottle of gin.
I know where this is going. Go on, man.
Yeah, bottle of gin, about 3 bottles of tonic. But I'm not a nutter, so I had a big bag of ice. So I had gin and tonic with ice. And then at about 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe a bit later, I attached a hose pipe to the exhaust and put it inside the car. And because I had young kids at the time, because also 2 years prior to that, got divorced, which affected me, and thought, life is crap. And so then started the engine, and thought, this is it. And then a few minutes later, heard a knock on the window.
Yeah.
And because I'd covered all the windows with newspaper, because obviously being a copper, I didn't want anyone to find me.
Yeah.
I thought someone would ring the police. And they was calling, hello. They took the hose pipe out of the exhaust.
Oh, man.
And so I thought, oh, okay. And then they sort of, after a while, walked away. I thought, flipping heck, well, I don't want to be here if the police come.
No.
So I then ripped all the paper down, drove about a mile, dumped the car, got a cab home, and an hour later...
Did you wipe your fingerprints? Did you wipe your fingerprints off it? Did you?
Well, no,
it's a slightly flippant, but it's also quite a serious one, because you're a copper, you know. Did you wipe your fingerprints off it?
Well, no, because I just drove a mile away, so... Right. If she had gone home, I'm assuming she didn't have a phone with her, because she had called the police there and then.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she had to walk home and call.
Wow,
so I just drove about a mile. Well, no, but she couldn't see in.
She saw. I know. It's still a horrific thing for her to find, man. Yeah.
So I drove about a mile, dumped the car, got home, and an hour later, I was on the train station reassuring the public about the London bombings. And to this day, I don't know who that person is that saved my life.
Well, that's the story, and Kath and I are genuinely sorry for well, no, we're not sorry for our tomfoolery, because that's the show, and you know that's the show, and it's, no disrespect is meant.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. I was trying to ring in to say something else.
Yeah,
but
it's fine. We're all good. We're all good. Clunky gear changes where it's at, man. The first thing that springs to mind, Ray, first of all, two things spring to mind. First of all, thank you for sharing such an intimate and personal story. The second thing is why. You say this is only, I think, the second time you've shared this. Why are you sharing it with us tonight?
Do you know what? Because I've been on Twitter today and seen the abuse that you've received, and I just found it appalling. Obviously, I've listened to you and watched the 11 o'clock show, and obviously you're playing this character that just has this laugh, and both my parents are journalists, and they taught me from a very young age, if they heard a news story or something that could be worthy, they would then go and find a second person or something to verify it. Whereas now it seems that if someone hears something, they print it.
Yeah.
And that's what I always had to do in the police. If I had a bit of information, I couldn't then get a warrant to kick a door in for drugs, because I'd have to get another piece of information that would verify that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't really. So I just thought so I was ringing in to just say how ridiculous people are. And then I listened to a couple of the calls on hold, and I only told my brother at Christmas last year about that. And
so you didn't tell anyone after that, and obviously, you know, the bombings were an incredible moment for everybody, but and took everyone out of themselves, I think, to a certain extent. But you didn't tell anyone, like, that night or that next day or a week later, and go, man, you don't know what, I got to tell you where I was last week.
No, didn't tell anyone just because I was a hard-nosed policeman that you didn't tell things like that. You just didn't. I didn't tell anyone for over 10 years.
Wow. Well, thanks. Thank you for telling us, man. I appreciate it. Genuinely. I appreciate this is one of the joys. I'm not saying your story is joyful, but one of the joys of this show and doing this show and doing a late night show, I think, is that people like you feel that you can trust me and Kath with, you know, your most intimate secrets, and that's genuinely an honour, you know, and it might sound a little bit worthy, but I mean it's an honour that people like you feel you can share that stuff. So thank you, man, and I'm glad you're still alive.
Yeah, and
just breathe it out, man. You take your time, Ray. We're in no rush. You just breathe it out, brother.
No, because my kids are now 15 and 17, so yeah, I'm glad I'm still here as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I must admit, I wouldn't have said this story at 10:30 or 11. It's just weird because I came on after midnight. I thought, you know what, I'm going to tell this story. It just seemed appropriate.
Have you spoken to your kids about it?
God, no. No, I've told my brother at Christmas last year.
Right.
He never knew.
Does it not concern you that maybe in this, you know, this is a show that it's not listened to by many people, but, you know, supposing what you shared with me got back to your kids because it was on the radio, what would...
I'd like to think that the kind of people that I know and I'm friends with, they would talk to me first. If not, then I don't know those people. I mean, the people I have told since, there's probably... I've told 12 or 13 people in the last few years, and my brother was sort of the last. I told my brother, his wife, and his sister-in-law and her husband at Christmas. So yeah, I'd like to think that they would sort of approach me first, and if they don't, then I'd have to deal with it. But my daughter's very streetwise for 17, and my son, I mean they know because there is a history. Because I've gone through the divorce and everything, and I had a sort of minor breakdown when I was in the police. So that's why my wife decided she didn't want to be with me anymore. So there was that side that happened in 2003. A couple of years prior to that, so they've got a rough idea that at certain points in my life things haven't been great, but I've always tried to sort of just try, you know, to put the happy face on, if that makes sense, and try and make out that nothing's wrong, and be the buffoon, always be the clown in the sort of group. But then there's certain times when the mask sort of slips and reality sort of kicks in. But yeah, but you know what? God, I'm sort of because when I applied for the prison service recently, there was a question: have you ever suffered from any this, that, and the other? And I thought, do I just sort of say no? I thought no, I'm going to tick yes. And so then their occupational health department rang me and spoke to me for about 90 minutes, and I was just honest with them. And they said, you know what? You're ideal because you've been through it, you admit it, you've come through the other side, and I think you'll be an excellent sort of person to be a prison officer. So they know my background.
Yeah.
So I just decided to be fully upfront and honest about it. And I thought if they say no, then it's not for me.
Yeah. Right, I've got to move on because I've got to do business, and I've missed all of the business tonight. But thank you, brother. Thank you. And there'll be a lot of people.
And you stay strong as well, because do you know what? You'll get through it.
Thank you, man. Take care. Cheers, Ray.
Cheers.
Bye. Simon and Lauren, stay there. There you go. Everyone's got a story, man. Everyone's got a story. Thank you, Ray. 03444991000. This is Talk Radio.
Tales of mystery and imagination on the radio show that does things differently.
Dolly Parton, I listen to a record all day long.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
I'm a nut job, but not that kind of nut job.
On Talk Radio.
Honest to God, it's the new Breaking Bad. Oh no!
03444991000. Let's go to Lauren. Good evening, Lauren.
Hello.
Hello, Lauren.
How are you?
Good, thank you. What would you like to say?
I would like some advice, please.
Okay, yes, come on. Let's have it.
So there's a guy. I think he's got the wrong impression. I don't think it's my fault, but I'm not sure what to do.
Okay, you're going to need a bit more than this.
How does this wrong impression manifest itself?
Okay, well, I've been talking to him on WhatsApp, and I don't think of him romantically whatsoever.
Yeah.
But he's been talking about things like friend dates. He said, I love you, and has been telling other people we're going on a date.
So he's got the wrong end of the stick. Well, here are the two options that spring to mind for me. And Catherine, I would like to hear your opinions after this. The two options are: one is you just block him, delete him, ignore him. Two is you say, look, I've heard you've been saying this. You're the honest about. I've heard you've been saying this, and maybe I've not been clear. So let me be clear now. I am not interested in you romantically at all. Really happy to carry on chatting as a friend, but if you keep on interpreting it as a romantic thing, then I'm going to have to. It's not what I'm after, and you've got to be really, direct.
I think
and say
the latter.
You, Catherine?
I think the latter, because it sounds like you've been being subtle, and it's gone right over his head.
Well, given he's probably listening, he's probably not subtle anymore.
Okay.
Oh, is he listening now?
Probably.
Okay, well, dude, she's not interested, and I hate to break it to you in this way, because, maybe there have been, when we're communicating via written word, particularly apps that allow shorthand, it's not like a long email letter. WhatsApp is usually a couple of sentences, boom, a couple of sentences, boom, maybe a bit more.
I definitely haven't given that impression, because I have sometimes not taken this person's calls because I said I've had someone in my house I'm entertaining that I actually like.
Right, but that doesn't. But that doesn't.
I hope they're not listening.
Yeah, but that doesn't. But deliberately not taking someone's calls doesn't say I'm not romantically interested in you.
I literally said, so we are friends. You are friend zoned. Do you understand?
Oh right.
I'm not being subtle.
No, okay, well that's fine, but whether, okay, that to one side. Going back to the point I was making, you may think apart from that, or you've been outspoken, but apart from that, it's really easy to misinterpret short sentences and short. It's really easy to, you in your head it's one voice, in someone else's head it's a completely different voice, and you have to be completely explicit and say, this is not romantic. I'm not romantically interested in you. Is that not a bit?
I thought I'd ask for advice.
But if you, now I feel uncomfortable thinking that they might be listening. That feels a little bit. If you knew they were going to be listening, I feel a little bit played, to be honest. I feel a little bit. I feel a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit used. If I'm being completely honest.
That wasn't my intention
But if
at
you
all.
if you knew that they were well, intention, you see. But if you knew that they were listening, I can only tell you how I feel. I've got a little knot in my stomach of uncomfortability, and I feel a little bit used in a way that I would prefer not to have been.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel that way.
Oh, that's how I feel. Do you understand? Does that make sense, Catherine?
Yeah.
It feels a little bit cold to use us to do it on the radio.
It's really bad now. God.
Just saying how I feel. I'm just being honest. I'm just saying that's what it feels like, and that's all right for me to say that.
I met them through listening to this show, and I just have reached the end of my tether with a lot of things on it. And
I think you should be having this conversation with them, or you should block them. I feel really uncomfortable that we are being used as a conduit for someone who, if they weren't listening, hey, if someone didn't know the show and wasn't listening, fine, then we can have that conversation. But if they are listening to the show at home, this is a conversation you either need to have directly with them, or you need to block them and cut them out of your life immediately, which is why I suggested that earlier on. It to me, and I've got a snapshot of the thing, so I don't know, but to me, doing it this way feels a little bit cruel, and I feel really, really uncomfortable.
Well, I apologise for making you feel that way.
Well, speak to the person you're talking about. It's not really about us, is it?
No.
Okay.
But I appreciate the advice a lot.
Cool.
Okay, thank you, Lauren. Take care. I just felt uncomfortable that you being a conduit.
I know what you mean. I'm pretty sure she wasn't trying to be cruel.
No.
Imagine, shoe on the other foot, imagine if that was
But
her.
to drop that bombshell after we've said what we've said.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think he's probably listening, so he'll know now. Do you know what? If I'd have known that before, I would not have answered it in such a forthright, cold manner. I'm not having a go at you, Lauren, at all. I've just got a knot in my stomach, and that's my gut. It's literally my gut instinct, and I have learnt to trust my gut instinct, and now I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And
So that person, if you are listening, sorry.
Unlucky. I know.
At least you know now, huh?
Yes. Needle Factory saying that was weird, Iain. I think she was genuine. Well, I'm sure she was genuine, but that was weird for me, Needle Factory. That was weird for me. So yeah. Hey Claire.
Hello.
Hello, Claire.
What was she on about before with WhatsApp? Give me a listen. What was she saying? Someone messaged her on WhatsApp.
None of your business. What would you like to say?
Well, really, it's sour and moth's gone.
Okay, thanks very much for calling. Let's go to Stuart, shall we, Stuart? I'm not going to go to a hotel with a moth-mouthed lady. Hello, Stuart.
Hello. I'm sorry. I'm a bit scared. It's my first time calling a radio show.
Okay, well, let's. You've got every reason to be scared. It's terrifying. There's about 70,000 people listening, and I'm in a pissy mood. So it's going to be uncomfortable.
What should we talk about then?
Well, have you got anything to talk about?
I'm getting scared now. Not really.
All right, well, let's leave it. Let's go to Jerry. Jerry!
Hello.
Get to the phone, man! For God's sakes, man!
I'm watching on TV.
Stop the TV!
It's technology.
You phoned in, be on the phone when we come to you. What do you want?
On the emotional roller coaster program, it's very on the radio, but it's unique selling point. It's the emotion it gives to. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, we're waiting for you to talk.
It's amazing. No, not amazing. It's so good because people can see, they're having a bad day, other people are having a bad day, and we can do one big excited. I spoke in Manchester, and it's to go get a driver. They might struggle to get a driver. So give me 2 weeks notice, just struggling to get a driver.
You want a driver to take you to Manchester?
Yeah, I need someone to take them down. Like Alton Towers. Right, look around me.
Well, can't you get can you not get like a cab to take you there and then book it to pick you up?
Cab?
We can't arrange a car for you, Jerry, for Christ's sake!
I'm changing my train. And then I'll get back.
We can't. Well, you've got to arrange a way to get back, because if you haven't arranged a way to get back, then that's unfair on us, because we'll be worried about you.
I can get a McDonald's 24 hours. I'm sure the young man tells him, feed and face on beef burgers all night. And milkshakes, they knock me out.
Okay.
I'm milkshake.
Okay.
My milkshake's breathing yours. I'm sorry.
Okay.
How's night just one getting on?
Edmund is saying that we humiliated Lauren. Hey, Edmund, why don't you get stuffed? You get stuffed.
Yeah.
All right, Jerry. I don't know what we. I don't know. We can't help. We can't get you a car.
No, don't you think you're just saying they'll get there somewhere.
All right. Well, we'll see you on the 28th. Let's go to Declan.
Hello?
Hello, Declan.
Hello?
Yeah, what do you want?
I want to ask a quick question.
Turn your radio off, man.
Sorry?
Yeah, what would you like to ask, Declan?
Do you like Fall Out Boy?
I don't even know what Fall Out Boy is.
The band.
What was their song?
Centuries. There's
sing it to me.
You will remember me for centuries.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good song, man. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. Do you want to speak to my friend quick?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay.
That's a little bit spicy, that. I think he's giving you some back chat.
Yeah?
I'll give your friend some back chat. I'll give your friend some back chat, and I'll give him a backhander as well.
Oh, I'd like to see him try.
Oh, I'd like to. You will tell him he will see me try if he doesn't watch it.
Come down to my end, and
I'm not going anywhere near your end. I'm not going anywhere near your end.
I'll come down your end.
You come down my end, and I will beat you up.
That doesn't sound very nice, to be honest.
Come down my end, and I will beat you up, Declan's friend. You will get beaten up like you've never been. Oh, there we go. That was fun until you you proved you were a dick. Hello, Nigel.
Hi, Ian.
Hello, Nigel.
You all right?
What do you want?
You've been collecting the panini stickers.
I've been collecting the panini stickers. Yeah.
How's it going?
I'm missing loads. I've got loads of doubles. It's a
We
nightmare.
are missing untold. I've got 152 with a lot to go.
It's a nightmare, man. It's been a really bad year for. It's been a really bad year for panini stickers. I think that they've stitched us up.
I think you've got to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
My missus wants me to buy a whole box to complete the book.
It's. Well, what are you going to do? If you want it complete, you've got to do it, haven't you, man? What do you need? Tell you what, so why don't you say the ones you need, and if anyone's listening, they can send them in to us, and we'll send them on to you. How about that?
All right. I need a lot. I'll have to go through the book and see what's required. There are many, many.
Okay, well, you let us know. And
you got a lot of doubles?
I've got so many doubles, man. You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, great. Okay. I'll make the list and I'll get back to you.
Brilliant.
Cheers, man.
Thanks very much, man. I appreciate it. I know. And I've heard a few other bits and pieces. God, why are we getting involved with people's squabbles? Why are we getting involved with people's squabbles? We're not mum and... Right, I know people think, mum and dad, and that's fine. I like the joke about me and Kath being mum and dad, and I like that. I think it's funny. I think it's cute. But... it's not. Your life is your life, man. It's not. We're just a radio show. We're just a radio show. I'm just a guy that used to be on telly 20 years ago and then did a silly program 8 months ago, and it's just a radio show. That's all it is. It's just a radio show. And I'm a guy that's getting divorced and living in a room, and Kath's a mum who's producing a show and trying to make it as a presenter. We're just people. We can't be responsible for your lives. If someone's being an idiot or being a dick, then you block them. If it carries on, then you go to the police. It's not anything to do with us. We can't. We're not encouraging it. If someone who is a listener of a show is creating problems for someone else, if we've not facilitated it, which we haven't, then it's nothing to do with us. And putting it on us is I think is unfair. You're adult. It's like if your marriage is breaking down, you can phone us up and chat to us about it, but don't, I don't know, man. I just think people are putting too much weight of responsibility on our shoulders.
It's that thing about accessibility, isn't it?
We're a late-night radio show. We're two dickheads who are struggling to get through our own lives. If two people have met, or if friendships have met through this show, that's great. If those friendships turn sour, do you know what? It's not us. It's not our responsibility. It's nothing to do with us, right? It's nothing. If I see someone being abusive, or being offensive or sexist or threatening or whatever or racist on my Twitter feed, I may decide to block them. I may decide to kick them out of the YouTube. I may decide all of these things, but I've got a really big knot in my stomach, and I feel
I get it.
I feel used a little bit. And now I've got people on Twitter, not that Twitter means anything, saying, I mean, this guy, Edmund, poor old Lauren being humiliated by Iain Lee.
Well,
piss off, Edmund.
if you look on YouTube, Lauren says she's fine, so...
Piss off, Edmund.
But really, he's not bothered about Lauren, he's just trying to score points.
Anyway. Jeez, people, man. Let's have a break!
The wild man of late night radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Paul Ross, is it Thursday? Paul Ross is on tonight. Yes. Paul Ross is on at 1 o'clock. Until then, 0344. We've got loads of calls. How many calls have we had so far?
Loads.
Well, tell me in this hour now.
All right.
7 in the first hour, 7 in the second hour. How many have we had in the third hour?
7.
Okay.
Although 2 of them were Sally.
Okay. Good evening, Colin in Australia.
Easy, Iain. What are you saying, man? You're going to say happy birthday to me. It's my birthday today, man.
I'm not going to say that to you, no.
Why not?
Because I'm not your puppet and you are not my Geppetto.
All right, fair enough. You know me. Well, the missus, Jackie, back in the door there, has just poured me a Bucks Fizz. So I'm just saying hello.
Hello, Bucks Fizz. Hello, Mrs. Hello, Alka. Oh, God damn it, Colin. Happy bloody birthday, man. Happy birthday, you big old bear of a human being. Come here and give me a hug.
Thank you very much.
Give me a hug.
Oh, come here.
Come here. Yes, man. Brothers in arms. What are you doing in Australia?
Listen, man, I've been living here for like the last, 8 years or so.
You've done well to keep the accent.
My birthday, man.
It's what?
I haven't, not yet, mate.
Yeah, you've done great, because normally after 8 years, Brits have got a little bit of a twang. You ain't got nothing. You're British.
Nah, man. North London, like.
Yes, whereabouts in North London?
Kentish Town.
Oh!
Big up the Kentish Town, massive.
Big up the Kentish Town.
Yeah,
the Forum, the Bull and Gate.
You know it, man, the Bull and Gate.
The chippy next to the Bull and Gate. Man alive, I could do with some of those.
Yeah, Dixie fried chicken.
Oh, come on, man. I love Kentish Town. Come back. Kentish Town is dying without you, Colin. You've got to come back, man.
Now, if I come back, it'd be Gentrish Town.
Gentrish Town, would it? It would. They're getting rid. I haven't driven through Kentish Town for ages because I don't live in London anymore. But I know that they closed the music venue at the back of the Bull and Gate, and everything is. Yeah, you're right. It's all getting gentrified. Of course, it is.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much.
There was a pub. There was a pub right down the other end. There was a pub right down the other end towards Camden. In Kentish Town, though, on the right-hand side as you went towards Camden, on a corner. They used...
Hold up.
No, not going down towards Camden on the right-hand side, and it was a music venue, and that's gone. I think that's houses now.
Oh yes, yeah. Look, before you get to the Electric Ballroom or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, way before the Electric Ballroom, man. What are you talking about? Yes, in Kentish Town.
All these street, the one-way system.
Yeah, I don't even know now. I'm bored.
Yeah, well, listen, man. That is a street. And that is how it goes. But here I am in Melbourne, man. That's saying.
Are you rich? Are you rich over there? Are you richer than you would be in London?
You know something? Partially.
Oh.
Imagine
one bed with a good view.
If you still owned, did you own or did you rent when you lived in Kentish? You owned.
Owned. No, rented, man. Rented.
So I'm just thinking, if you sold that place now 8 years later, you'd be quids in, buddy. Isn't it? Buy as many beans as you wanted.
You know it is, man. You know it is. I'll send you a little picture on social media or something like that. Hello, Cass, by the way.
Hello.
Colin is my favourite caller of all time.
You're a vibe. You're the opposite of the vibe suckers we get. You're a vibe pumper.
We like you, man.
You know it is, man. It's my birthday today, man, so I've got to say hello, haven't I?
Happy birthday, Colin. Happy birthday, Colin. Happy birthday.
Listen, you lot on a boom, man.
Woo!
Nice to talk to you, buddy. Take care.
There, right? But I'm gonna, next time I'm going to call you up, all right?
Next time I want to talk to you. Is your missus British or Australian?
My missus she's from Newcastle, man. Let me get Jackie on the phone. Jackie, say hello.
Hello. Who's that?
Hello, is that Jackie?
It is one. How are you?
Hey, why, hi, Jackie. Is he only here in the UK? Do you know he's phoning up Britain?
You serious, man?
I don't think either of us can do a Newcastle accent. How are you finding Australia, Jackie?
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Are you really from Newcastle?
Yes, I am.
Newcastle, Australia, you id.
But no, what?
Yes.
Newcastle from the United Kingdom or Australia?
Yeah, from Blythe, man.
You've got...
Are you heck?
You shut up, man. You sound South African.
Oh, don't. Oh, no, don't tell me that.
You've got the... he sounds British, and you've got an incredible Australian South African accent.
I demand proof, right? If you're a Geordie, I want to hear you say, "Do you want a Ferrero Rocher while you wait?"
What is that?
Yeah, you can't do it. You are foreign. We will have no more foreigners on this station. Good day to you, madam.
Busted.
Hello, Mark.
Ayo, you all right, man?
I'm all right, fella. What you got for us?
Right, I rang up there 2 days ago, but I swore in the first sentence, so I apologise for that.
That's okay. Well, the finger is hovering over the dump button. The mouse is ready to cut you off at any moment.
It probably says on your little screen that I swore, so I'm not going to do that tonight.
Okay.
All right, I just want to apologise for that, but your Geordie accent is the worst I've ever heard in my life.
Why, hey, man, what you seeing like, fella?
You really mess about with what, Jackie?
What, Jackie? I'll knock your teeth out, Mark!
Terrible, mate. What are you doing, man?
Shut it. All right, it's not one of my best. It's not one of my best.
It's not, mate. You need to practice that on your Scouse one, mate.
What?
Well, all of them. I mean, let's not discriminate.
Catherine, stop flirting with Mark. He sounds like some kind of criminal.
He doesn't. He sounds like all my cousins.
Oh.
I'm Rudy Rickenbacker on YouTube. I adore.
Oh, I think I just timed you out for adoring Catherine too much, you dirty dog.
I know, I've seen that. I had to wait like 25 seconds.
Yeah, because you were perving over Catherine, so I timed him out. I think he was...
I'm rubbing my knees now. I'm rubbing them.
Oh, stop it.
This is why I'm going to cut him off now as well. I timed him out and I cut him off. He's a dirty boy. And you were flirting with that. Honestly, he was being turned on by you. Imagine.
I'm sorry, but he just sounded like a homie.
I don't think you can say that anymore. What are you talking about?
Well, he was Mac, wasn't he?
Oh, a homie. I'm so sorry. I thought you were being okay.
Anyway. Do you Geordie again?
No, I'm not gonna.
Go on, dance.
You're not
dance,
Geppetto. Speaking of dancing, little boys, it's Nigel.
Hi, Iain.
Hey, Nigel, how's it going, man?
Oh, hang on. I was just going to sit on my drum stool.
Okay.
The neighbours have gone away for 4 days.
Screw them. Let hit those skins, buddy. Let's hear it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, yeah. There's still neighbours next door. Can I talk about my mum first?
Of course you can.
Yeah. I went in to see it. Well, I've had a busy day. I went in to see her this afternoon, and she had to lay on her side because she's in pain, and they've been giving her painkillers, but they're not working very well.
Right.
And so she had to have more, and then she couldn't eat her dinner because she's had an upset stomach.
Uh-oh.
Probably the tablets, isn't it?
Could be tablets. Painkillers can upset your stomach. Yeah, of course.
I think if they'd have sent her home, she could have taken the painkillers at home. She might not have caught anything from the hospital.
Well, she may not have caught anything from the hospital. The painkillers might just be upsetting her stomach. It's best that she stays there where they.
Don't you think you stand a chance in catching things in the hospital?
Yeah, of course you do. But also they can keep an eye on her in case things got a little bit worse or she
I'm
changed.
so upset, Iain.
I'm
so upset. It's terrible. I'm so worried about her. You know.
I know.
And it's not because of losing her, because of the suffering going through, and the pain, she's laying there in pain, you know, where she fell, her ribs and everything, you know. It's so sad, isn't it?
Yeah. It is sad, but
I don't know how to. I mean, I'm keeping myself busy, you know, doing everything. I'm quite a lot tighter, really. I did another gig at the Pantiles as well, another gig outside, and I must have sang another hour. I sang
throw
for an
yourself
hour in the sunshine.
into your art and your performance, and that will lift
Well, I
your
have.
soul.
I've done very well, and they said I can even take my drums along and play outside the cafe. if I want to.
How are you going to get your drums there? On the back of your bike?
Well, I've got a friend who's come and fixed my motorbike tonight. Who's got a car. He'll probably do it next week for me.
Oh.
He lives handy near me anyway. He got my motorbike going because it wouldn't start, and it was because I've run out of petrol. I've run out of petrol.
Oh dear. Well, that's good.
So I got him all the way over to my place, thinking it had broken down, but all it was that I needed to put it onto the spare tank to get it going. So I just need to get some petrol.
Okay, you go and get some petrol. All right, man.
So
All right.
at least I had a good gig anyway. They all enjoyed it, and so that was fine.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm going to go because I'm.
Do you want me to tap the drums a bit?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why the hell not?
Well, this is with the brushes. I can't use a stick.
No.
So if I put the phone down, I can do a bit better. Will you still be able to hear?
Yeah.
I'll put the phone down and do a bit. Hang on.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? He's put the phone down.
He's
literally put the phone down.
All right. Well, luckily, don't worry. We have another Nigel we can go to. Hello, Nigel.
Why, hey, man?
We just spoke to you.
Yes, I've got the Panini album now.
Can't hear you because it sounds like you got a dick in your mouth. Let's go to Kasif. Good evening, Kasif.
Good evening.
Yes, man, my favourite caller. Yes, Kasif.
Yes, well, it is about your Periscope title, the sexy dead people. I mean, it's something very bad about that. Is our children are being taught that through Snow White. Snow White dies and the prince kisses her while she's dead.
Yeah, it's a necrophiliac's wet dream.
Exactly. I mean, a kid should be taught that and also something else. That
is she dead or is she just in a coma?
She's had a spell on her.
You keep out of this.
Kasif, I don't want to upset you, but I'm gonna. You know, the original Rapunzel, he didn't climb in... Oh, no, Sleeping Beauty, he didn't climb in and kiss her to wake her up.
Hello, Kasif?
It's upsetting, I understand.
Kasif? What the hell is going on with everybody? Kasif? Right. Hello, right, Nigel's back. Nigel, what is going on with everyone?
Did you get some of that?
No, you put the phone down on us and the phone went dead.
Sorry, I better hold it then. I better hold it then.
I am losing the will to live, and that's not something I say lightly.
I do a bit with the stick here. You can hear it now. Can you hear that properly?
Yes.
I can't replay properly without music this time of night.
Put the phone on the floor,
hang on.
but don't hang up on us.
Oh,
God!
No, I can play with one hand anyway.
I bet you can.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Here we go.
Terrible. What a racket.
Could you hear that?
What a racket.
Oh, sorry.
That was awful.
Well, what do you want me to do, a pop beat or...
Okay, no, thanks.
A pop rhythm?
Thanks very much for calling. Seriously, I'm really... Kasif's back. Now what happened to you?
I don't know. The connection just went off all of a sudden.
Okay. So you are upset because there was a story for children where a member of the royal family has intercourse with a corpse.
Yes, and also Snow White represents cocaine. And
Snow White, hang on, Snow White does what with cocaine?
Represents cocaine, and the
Snow White represents cocaine?
Side effects. And the seven dwarfs represent the side effects.
The seven dwarfs are the... The Seven Dwarfs are the side effects of the cocaine that's... All right, let's go through the names of the Seven Dwarfs. It's good. So there's Dopey, yes. Sleepy, incorrect.
Sleepy, yeah.
Sleepy, you don't get sleepy after cocaine.
Grumpy, yes.
Grumpy.
Doc.
Well.
Happy, yeah.
Sneezy. Get a bit of that going on, don't you?
Bashful, incorrect.
There isn't one called excessively talkative and annoying.
Yeah.
They're twins.
Self-interested. Cassiv, can you give us a call another time? Because Paul Ross is in. He's shaking his fist at me. He's physically threatening me. We have to find out what's on his show tonight. And you've given us something really exciting to think about.
Okay, thank you, Ian.
You're my favourite caller, Cassif, by a long way. I hate all the others. I hate them, but I like you and I respect you, and I think we'd be friends in real life. All right, take care, man.
You too. Bye-bye.
Great guy.
Although I have banned him from YouTube for making some very, very nasty suggestions about someone.
Oh, dear.
Well, I'm going to unban him.
Okay, let me tell you what the suggestion was off air first, and then you can decide.
I'll write it down on this bit of paper while Paul Ross tells us about swimming with ponies.
Although talking of Snow White, of course, on that great Malcolm McLaren album with Buffalo Girls on it.
Yes.
With the
they had a really good documentary about that a little while ago.
Oh, that's a catch, because I love that album. I found it again recently on the old vinyl, and there's a bit in that when a girl phones in the radio station. He says, "What are you doing up?" And she says, "Too much of that Snow White." Maybe that's where Cassin got it from.
There's a great documentary. It was either on 6 Music, it was 4 Extra. Driving home, sometimes you can hear some good stuff. So it'll be on the iPlayer, and it's him telling the story. So it's full
Malcolm McLaren.
It's full of arrogance and it was my idea and all of that. But that's what you want from him.
Can I show you a photograph, both of you? I think it's my joyous photograph of the week, and we are covering the person who's responsible for it.
Oh, look at that, yes.
You go to Cornwall, you can now swim with horses. The man who's come up with the idea did it in the West Indies. He's been doing it. He claims the horses absolutely love it. People love it as well. So we're talking about, I would love to do that. That is just joy on that horse's face, isn't it? I know I'm anthropomorphising and giving it kind of human character, but that's smiling. That makes Janet Street Porter look miserable, that horse.
I've seen I've not swum with them, but I've been out and seen the elephants having a swim, and it's like ballet. They're so graceful.
And there's a wonderful documentary where they shoot them from below. Obviously, some kind of guy's gone down. So about the beautiful creature. Oh wow,
I love all of that.
Swim with elephants. Also on the show today, we're crossing to Thailand, and there's a remarkable new initiative there, dreamt up by a British guy using Buddhist techniques, lots of physical exercise. It's a month-long program to get people to get rid of their addictions or their dependency on chemical substances.
Lovely, and
it's mainly young people. It's quite expensive, but some councils in the UK are paying for it. So we're talking to the guy about that one. Okay. And of course, being a Friday, we're talking TV with Mike Ward. So interesting stuff on the box, including the final one. Have you been seeing anything of the BBC 4 shows about the 80s? No. The 80s scene. There's the third one on tonight. And the first couple have been great.
What is it?
They basically... It's presented by Midure, I can't remember who else does it.
Oh, I read about
and a lot of it is their mates, so they don't do for example, the Smiths haven't featured at all, which is a bit remiss when you look at the 80s. Yeah. But actually that's because obviously neither Johnny Marr nor Morrissey were up for interview, but some great stuff on it, so that's on tonight, so we're talking about that.
Do you remember the first one of those kind of shows years ago called the Rock and Roll Years?
Oh yes, yeah.
And it was like a 30-minute show, and I think it was one of the first, hey, let's look back at pop culture, and it was something like footage of the Beatles, and then footage of Vietnam, and the little captions on, there's no commentary, just the little captions.
It's one of the 70s called The Story of Pop, and you could buy the magazines to go with it. I can't remember the name. Quite a good quite a good filmmaker. And they had interviews with people like Jerry Lee Lewis.
Wow.
And it was when nobody interviewed rock stars or took them seriously. I'd love to get hold of that on DVD. Somebody you should re-release it.
That's a YouTube troll.
Yeah.
Paul Ross will be on at 1 o'clock. Catherine Boyle, thank you for your company this evening. It's been delightful.
It has.
Although I was disappointed that you kept blowing off so much in the studio. Sorry for that, Paul.
Don't be silly, Kath.
Thank you, sir. Back tonight at 10. Ta-ta.